Nepal's Home Minister says government committed to maintaining peace and security, urges sensitivity over different cases. Nepal opens LPG complaint line amid cooking gas shortage. Officials say stockpiling has increased demand. Nepal launches online authentication system to simplify consular services for citizens abroad. New digital platform to benefit hundreds of thousands. Ukraine targets Russian oil refineries and long-range drone strikes. Moscow says hundreds of drones intercepted. Hiroshima marks 81 years since atomic bombing with annual peace ceremony. Representatives from 121 countries attend memorial. And FIFA President Infantino wins executive backing amid leadership scrutiny. Unanimous support clears path for his potential fourth-term bid. Hello there, I'm Smriti Singh Thamang and this is NTV World Primetime News. We're coming to you live from Kathmandu at 1900 hours Nepal time. Elsewhere, it's 13:15 in London, 22:15 in Tokyo and just after midnight in Sydney. Now, the news in detail. Nepal's Home Minister Sudan Gurung has called for sensitivity while discussing issues involving personal loss, saying the government is continuing efforts to maintain peace and security across the country. Responding to lawmakers' questions in the National Assembly, Minister Gurung said investigations, including Nirmala Pantha case, are ongoing and that commenting on details would not be appropriate at this stage.
अनुसन्धानको विषयलाई हामीले सदन मार्फत गर्ने चाहिँ अनुसन्धानको विषयहरू चाहिँ यो सदन मार्फत चाहिँ हामीले गर्न चाहिँ मिल्दैन अनुसन्धान हो नि त त्यो विषयलाई त हामीले सकेसम्म चाहिँ गोप्य राखेर अनुसन्धानको प्रक्रियालाई अगाडि बढाएर हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ रिजल्ट दिनु ठुलो कुरा हो नि त यसको बारेमा अनुसन्धानको फाइलहरू तपाईको यहाँ सदनमा बसेर त्यो जो क्रिमिनल्सहरू हुनुहुन्छ जसले चाहिँ उन्मुक्ति पाइराख्नु भएको छ उहाँहरूलाई सचेत गराएको मात्र जस्तो हुन्छ के यो भयो भने त्यही भएको हिसाबले अनुसन्धानको विषयलाई चाहिँ हामीले यसलाई गोप्य राखेर अनुसन्धान गरेर अन्तिममा रिजल्ट ल्याउँदाखेरि चाहिँ गृहमन्त्रीज्यूले एकदम राम्रो काम गर्नुभयो भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ होला त्यसपछि चाहिँ
Continuous rainfall has disrupted transportation across Nepal, blocking major highways and roads in more than a dozen districts, including Ilam, Dolkha, Kavribalanchok, Sindhubalchok, Lalitpur, Rasua, Baglung, Palpa and Mugu. Authorities have suspended nighttime vehicle movement on the Khurkot-Nepal-Tok Katunchebesi section of the BP highway, the Kantilok Path and the Ilam section of the Mechi highway due to the heightened risk of floods and landslides. Floods and landslides have also closed the 0 Kilo, Kodari and Leaping area in Sindhubalchok, the Lama Sanghu Ramechhap road section in Dolkha, the Khalte area in Rasua, the Nagma Gamgadi road in Mugu and the Leaping section of the Kaligandaki corridor in Baglung and Palpa. Police have urged travelers to check the latest road conditions with the relevant authorities before setting out and to exercise caution during the monsoon season. The Sefrubesi-Rasua-Gadi road, the shortest road link connecting Nepal and China, has been blocked after a landslide struck between Timure and Rasua-Gadi in Ward number 2 of Gosaikunda Rural Municipality, Rasua, on Thursday morning. Cross-border movement through the Rasua-Gadi border point has also been suspended as continuous rainfall raised water levels in rivers on the Chinese side. Landslides and muddy road conditions have disrupted the movement of container trucks carrying goods imported from China, as well as electric vehicles along the route. Ongoing road widening and excavation work supported by the Chinese government has also been affected by persistent rainfall. Drivers say the disruption has delayed hundreds of containers and other vehicles that use the road daily, affecting the timely transport of goods. A passenger bus crash in Lalitpur, a city in Nepal's Kathmandu Valley near the capital Kathmandu, has left one person dead and 19 others injured. The bus travelling from Bhaktapur to Sadabato crashed into the wall of the Guarco flyover. Lalitpur District Police spokesperson Superintendent Gautam Mishra said a 40-year-old woman died in the accident. The injured passengers are receiving treatment at various hospitals. Police have made a preliminary assessment that excessive speed may have caused the crash. The bodies of renowned mountaineer Nirmal Purja and 3 members of his expedition have been recovered from Pakistan's Broad Peak and taken to the mountain's base camp. The team members were killed in an avalanche on July 30 while climbing the world's 12th highest mountain. Pakistan's Alpine Club said 3 climbers remain missing, with search and recovery operations continuing as weather and mountain conditions allow. The recovered bodies will be returned to their families. The tragedy has deeply affected the global mountaineering community, with Nepal's National Mountain Guide Association describing the deaths as the loss of a generation of accomplished climbers. Time for a short break now. We shall be back with more updates. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World Primetime News. Now, the remaining updates. Nepal's gas industry officials say a shortage of cooking gas in some markets has been caused by consumers stockpiling liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) cylinders over fears of supply disruptions. To address this issue, the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies has opened a complaint line for consumers facing difficulties obtaining cooking gas, urging them to report cases of black marketing and artificial shortages. Nepal's Industry Minister Gauri Kumari Yadav's secretariat has issued a notice asking consumers facing difficulties in obtaining cooking gas to report complaints through a dedicated contact number. Some consumers have alleged that businesses and gas distributors are engaging in black marketing by taking advantage of the situation. Nepal moves to update a national service law to train youth volunteers for public service. The bill that proposes leadership and discipline training for teenagers has sparked debate over military-style programs in schools. Nepal's government has begun the process of replacing the 2027 National Service Act with a new bill aimed at developing leadership, discipline and volunteer skills among young people. Law Minister Shobita Gautam said the proposed national service bill would allow trained volunteers to be mobilized for national service when needed, while targeting teenagers and young adults aged between 13 and 21. The bill proposes training for students from grades 8 to 12, with participants receiving certificates after completing the program. Supporters say the initiative could strengthen leadership and civic responsibility, while some lawmakers have raised concerns that schools should focus on moral education instead of military-style training. The bill, currently under discussion in a parliamentary committee, proposes that the Prime Minister serve as Chief Patron and the Defence Minister as Patron of the National Service Programme. Nepal's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched the Nepal E-Attestation System (NEATS), a digital platform designed to make consular authentication services more accessible and efficient. The new system will allow Nepalese around the world to apply for document authentication online, track application progress, pay fees and schedule appointments remotely, with the service set to begin from Bhadra 1 as per Nepali calendar. Launching the system in Kathmandu, Foreign Minister Shishir Khanal said the initiative reflects the government's commitment to digital services, transparency and good governance, describing it as a step towards the digital Nepal vision. The ministry said demand for document authentication has increased as more Nepalese travel abroad for education, employment, business and migration, with hundreds of thousands seeking related services each year. The government also plans to introduce home delivery of authenticated documents in the next phase in coordination with the Postal Service Department. Now, the government's taxpayer incentive program has generated massive interest and participation even before its official launch. The system has already registered transactions surpassing 92.80 billion rupees. The program is being officially launched Friday, with daily winner being announced on a regular basis. Sabika Shrestha with Kamala Rial brings more.
Asking for a bill after making a purchase is no longer just a civic responsibility. It is now an opportunity to win cash prizes. Since the announcement of the program, the number of consumers requesting VAT bills has increased significantly. According to the Inland Revenue Department, the total value of transactions registered under the taxpayer incentive program has crossed 92.80 billion rupees in the last 20 days. As of Thursday, more than 30.46 million transactions have been recorded. Consumers who pay in cash and collect a bill can participate in the program by registering their mobile number and other required details through the department's taxpayer incentive portal. A purchase is considered eligible only after the system verifies the bill. Once verified, a digital ticket is automatically generated, which is then entered into the daily and bumper prize draws. Purchases of 100 rupees or more must be supported by a bill containing the seller's PAN. Payments made through mobile banking, QR codes, cards, and other electronic payment methods are automatically included in the system.
हामीले विद्युतीय भुक्तानी भन्छौं नि क्यूआर पेमेन्ट गर्ने अथवा अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गर्ने कुराहरुमा जुन भुक्तानीमा हामी चाहिँ त्यो अनलाइन पेमेन्ट चाहिँ गर्छौं त्यसमा केही पनि गर्नु पर्दैन त्यो पेमेन्ट गर्ने बित्तिकै त्यो ट्रान्ज्याक्सन कारोबारको चाहिँ संकेत नम्बर स्वत यो चाहिँ यो स्किममा समावेश हुन्छ जसले चाहिँ अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गर्नु भएको छैन नगदमा भुक्तानी गर्नु भएको छ भनेदेखि उहाँहरुले चाहिँ बिल लिनु पर्यो विभागको चाहिँ वेबसाइटमा एउटा चाहिँ त्यो बिल प्रविष्टि गर्ने चाहिँ ठाउँ छ त्यहाँ 5-6 वटा फिल्डमा चाहिँ हामीले त्यो इन्फर्मेसन भर्ने बित्तिकै उले चाहिँ तपाईको कुपन नम्बर यति हो भनेर चाहिँ टक्क फेरि कुपन नम्बर सहित चाहिँ दिन्छ त्यो पनि प्रणालीमा चाहिँ फेरि आफै जान्छ.
According to the department, only individual consumers are eligible to participate in the program. Transactions made in the name of businesses, companies or institutions are not eligible. The department says the initiative aims to strengthen public trust in the tax system, promote a culture of voluntary tax compliance, encourage honest taxpayers and broaden the country's tax base. Under the program, one winner will be selected through a daily lucky draw with a prize money of 1 lakh rupees. In addition, a bumper draw will be held every 15 days, giving one lucky consumer the chance to win a cash prize of 1 million rupees exclusive of taxes. So next time, when you make a purchase of anything above 100 rupees, make sure to take a VAT invoice and be a millionaire. Sabika Shrestha, NTV World.
Visitor numbers at Badimalika, a major religious and tourist destination in far western district of Bajura, have increased in recent years, with around 100 people now arriving daily, according to local residents. Although this year's annual Badimalika pilgrimage held during the full moon festival of Shravan Purnima, which regularly falls on August 12, pilgrims and tourists have been visiting the site since mid-March. Badimalika Municipality Mayor Amar Bahadur Khadka attributed the rise in visitors to increased promotion and growing awareness of the site's natural beauty and religious significance. Located at an altitude of about 4,200 meters, Badimalika is known for its Himalayan views, alpine meadows and religious landmarks. However, despite the growing number of visitors, locals say the area still lacks basic infrastructure, including proper trails, drinking water, toilets and resting facilities. Time again for a short break. We shall see you at the other side with international updates. Ukraine says it has carried out long-range drone strikes on 2 Russian oil refineries targeting facilities in Bashkortostan and the Yaroslavl region. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attacks were aimed at weakening Russia's military infrastructure. At Yaroslavl, thick black smoke was seen rising over the city, with the regional governor describing it as the largest drone attack the area has ever faced. Russian authorities say they intercepted more than 600 Ukrainian drones across multiple regions, although falling debris reportedly struck oil storage tanks. Meanwhile, Russian drone attacks in Ukraine killed at least 6 people, including civilians, in a residential area, at a railway station, and near the Black Sea port of Odessa. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir will visit Saudi Arabia from August 6 to 8 for high-level talks. The visit comes amid heightened tensions in the Gulf, but Pakistan says the trip carries significance beyond the immediate regional crisis. According to the Foreign Ministry, discussions are expected to focus on regional security, bilateral cooperation, and broader strategic issues. Pakistan has been actively working to mediate an end to the US-Iran conflict, which is drawn in several Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia. Officials say the visit underscores the close ties between Islamabad and Riyadh at a time of growing instability across the Middle East. Iran says it has reached a preliminary agreement with Oman on a temporary shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz, although negotiations are still in the final stages. Tehran says the arrangement will not guarantee safe navigation, blaming ongoing U.S. naval actions for continued security risks in the strategic waterway. The Strait of Hormuz has been largely disrupted since the conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel escalated earlier this year, severely affecting global oil and liquefied natural gas shipments. Iran says the temporary route could remain open for 2 to 4 months while discussions continue over transit fees and broader maritime security. Oil prices eased slightly following the announcement, but uncertainty over the key energy corridor remains high. Japanese city Hiroshima held its annual peace ceremony on Thursday, marking 81 years since the atomic bombing. People across Japan are taking time to pause and remember the victims. Hiroshima fell silent at 8:15 a.m., the same minute the U.S. dropped the bomb in 1945. The heat and radiation from the blast destroyed the city, killing an estimated 140,000 people by the end of the year. Many who survived suffer from cancer and other diseases related to radiation exposure. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi and representatives from a record 121 countries and regions attended the ceremony. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi offered her condolences to victims of the Hiroshima atomic bombing 81 years after the attack by the U.S. during World War II.
我が国は非核三原則を堅持しており、唯一の戦争被爆国として核兵器のない世界の実現に向けた努力をたゆまず続けていく使命を担っています。
Myanmar President Min Aung Hlaing has visited Thailand for talks with Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul, marking his first trip to the country since taking office as civilian leader. The visit comes as Myanmar seeks to rebuild ties with ASEAN after years of diplomatic isolation following the 2021 military coup. The two leaders discussed regional cooperation and signed a labour agreement, while Thailand reaffirmed support for Myanmar's participation in ASEAN. Rights groups have criticized the visit, noting that Min Aung Hlaing remains under Western sanctions and is wanted by the International Criminal Court over alleged crimes against humanity. Analysts say the visit reflects Myanmar's efforts to normalize relations despite ongoing conflict and its refusal to fully implement ASEAN's peace plan.
ไทยและเมียนมาเป็นสมาชิกในครอบครัวอาเซียนและไทยสนับสนุนการมีส่วนร่วมของเมียนมาในอาเซียนอย่างเต็มที่မြန်မာနိုင်ငံအားဒီမိုကရေစီလမ်းကြောင်းပေါ်မှာပြန်လည်ခြေချပြီးပုံမကောင်းမွန်တဲ့အနာဂတ်စီကိုဥတီဆောင်ရနေပြီလည်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့စုပ်တည်နေတဲ့လက်ရှိမှာနိုင်ငံတော်ပြည်ရေးအေဂျင်စီရင်းရည်ရဲ့လူသားပဲတဲ့စီလူတွေကိုဥစားပြီးဆောင်ရရှိနေပါတယ်
Let's take a breather. We'll be back with more from International. More than 100 people have died across India since July after monsoon triggered floods and landslides devastated several states. The northeastern state of Assam has been the hardest hit with at least 87 deaths, including 47 in the worst affected Shivasagar district, where many areas remain underwater. In Kerala, heavy rains have killed at least 15 people, with 7 others still missing, forcing more than 10,000 residents into relief camps. At least 31 more deaths have been reported in the Himalayan territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Scientists warn that climate change is making South Asia's annual monsoon increasingly unpredictable and destructive, intensifying floods, landslides and displacement across the region. The United Nations World Food Programme warns that the strengthening El Niño weather pattern could push at least 49 million more people into acute food insecurity by the end of 2027. The agency says droughts, floods and extreme temperatures are already affecting vulnerable communities, with the greatest impact expected in Central America, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa and parts of Asia. WFP estimates the number of people facing acute hunger in 45 high-risk countries could rise from 225 million to 274 million. The agency has already launched early response measures in several countries, providing life-saving assistance and helping communities prepare for climate-related disasters. The WFP is urging greater international support, warning that early action can save lives, protect livelihoods, and reduce the cost of future humanitarian emergencies. South Korea's record-breaking heat wave is exposing a stark divide between rich and poor in Seoul's affluent Gangnam district. While wealthy residents stay cool in luxury apartments with constant air conditioning, families in the nearby Guryong village shanty settlement are struggling to survive in extreme heat. Temperatures have climbed above 42 degrees Celsius, with residents saying indoor temperatures can exceed 40 degrees. Many lack reliable electricity or air conditioning, forcing them to seek shade outdoors. Authorities have opened emergency cooling shelters and distributed cooling appliances, but officials say the heat has already claimed 19 lives. Experts warn climate change is making extreme weather more frequent, with vulnerable communities bearing the greatest burden. Time now for Sports Update. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has secured the backing of the organization's senior executives despite growing scrutiny over his leadership. At a meeting in Morocco, Infantino apologized for what he described as errors, but received unanimous support from the FIFA Management Board. His leadership has come under pressure following a controversial proposal to sell stakes in FIFA competitions to private investors. With the board's endorsement, Infantino is now expected to seek a fourth term as FIFA president. To be re-elected, he will need the support of at least 106 of FIFA's 211 member associations. South Korean police have raided the Korea Football Association as part of an investigation into the appointment of former national team coach Hong Myung-bo. Authorities are probing allegations of obstruction of business, with investigators examining whether senior KFA officials improperly influenced Hong's 2024 appointment in violation of internal rules. The scrutiny has intensified after South Korea's disappointing group stage exit at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, despite high expectations for a star-studded squad led by Son Heung-min. Hong resigned in June and later accepted full responsibility for the team's poor performance, while denying allegations over his appointment and reported salary. Police say the investigation is ongoing and the KFA has declined to comment. A 24-year-old footballer, Safwan Awai, was killed after being struck by lightning during a semi-final match of the Golok FA Cup 2026 at Santifa Peace Stadium in Sungai Kolok district, Narathiwat, Thailand. The incident happened during extra time as a thunderstorm brought heavy rain, strong winds and lightning to the stadium. A lightning strike hit the pitch, injuring several players. Awai, who had recently joined Yala FC after playing for Patani FC, was taken to a district hospital but was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Yala Football Club later expressed condolences to Awai's family. The Golok FA Cup is a local football tournament involving clubs from southern Thailand and some teams from Malaysia. Colo-Colo has given a hero's welcome to Cape Verde goalkeeper Virginia after signing the 40-year-old following his standout performances at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thousands of fans packed Santiago's monumental stadium to greet the veteran shot stopper, who thanked supporters and said he was proud to join Chile's biggest club. Virginia became a global sensation after producing a series of remarkable saves against world champions Spain, Uruguay and Lionel Messi's Argentina, helping Cape Verde reach the knockout stage before a dramatic extra-time defeat. His World Cup performances made him an international star, with his Instagram following soaring from around 50,000 to more than 29 million. Virginia is expected to make his home debut for Colo-Colo on August 16. And before we wrap up, here's a reminder of our top stories. Nepal's Home Minister says government committed to maintaining peace and security, urges sensitivity over sensitive cases. Nepal opens LPG complaint line amid cooking gas shortages. Officials say stockpiling has increased demand. Nepal launches online authentication system to simplify consular services for citizens abroad. New digital platform to benefit hundreds of thousands. Ukraine targets Russian oil refineries in long-range drone strikes. Moscow say hundreds of drones intercepted. Hiroshima marks 81 years since atomic bombing with annual peace ceremony. Representatives from 121 countries attend memorial. And FIFA President Infantino wins executive backing amid leadership scrutiny. Unanimous support clears path for his potential re-election. That's it for this edition of Primetime News. Our next bulletin will be at 2200 hours Nepal time. Do join us for our social media and get the latest updates from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. Thank you for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
कसैले पनि अब व्हीलचेयरमै चाहिँ बन्जी गर्नुभएको छैन
अहिले चाहिँ आई एम भेरी एक्साइटेड रमाइलो यस 2 1 बन्जी डिफ्रेन्ट आइडियाहरू हुन्छ हाम्रो जस्तै अब खुट्टामा लगाएर नर्मली जम्प गर्नु पनि उहाँले चाहिँ हामी बडीमा मात्रै लगाएर जम्प गराउँछौँ लेट्स गो
This is the
Story of Dilip Sapkota and Sisir Dahal, two wheelchair daredevils who challenged their physical limitations by jumping nearly 200 meters. They weren't just attempting a bungee jump, they were making history by attempting a bungee jump in their wheelchair. The location was the famous The Last Resort, offering adventurous thrill over Bhotekosi River in Sindhupalchok district of central Nepal. From the launch pad, a suspension bridge over the river, a free fall 160 meters down the gorge. This bridge had been the launch pad for the courageous and adventure seekers for years. But on this day, the jump was not just about adrenaline rush, but also about defiance, about breaking the barriers. Dilip, a fierce advocate for inclusive tourism, has spent years pushing boundaries, paragliding, ziplining, even bungee jumping without a chair.
म अपङ्गता भइसके पछाडी म आफूलाई कसरी रिफ्रेश बनाउने त म आफै चाहिँ कसरी ह्याप्पी हुन्छु भनेर आफैले आफैलाई बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले घुम्दा ट्राभलहरू गर्दा एडभेन्चरहरू गर्दा अझ म बढी आफै खुसी भएको पाएँ। अनि त्यस पछाडी चाहिँ मलाई बन्जी मैले प्याराग्लाइडिङहरू गरेँ। प्याराग्लाइडिङहरू गरिसके पछाडी बन्जी पनि गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने लाग्यो अनि मैले बन्जी गरेँ। बन्जी गरेपछि होइन अब यो बन्जीलाई पनि एकचोटि व्हिलचेयरमा पनि बन्जी गर्नुपर्छ हैन। नेपालमा म चाहिँ अपङ्गता भएका साथीहरूले चाहिँ एडभेन्चरकोमा चाहिँ अलिक पछाडी देखिने, उहाँहरू खासै त्यति धेरै एडभेन्चरहरू गर्नलाई त्यस्तो खेलहरू खेल्नलाई डराउने, यस्तो हुन्छ उस्तो हुन्छ भन्ने उहाँहरूको चाहिँ मेन्टालिटी पनि थियो र त्यो मेन्टालिटीलाई पनि चिर्नुपर्छ। मैले यो सकिन्छ, हामीले पनि खेल्न सक्छौँ, गर्न सक्छौँ र एउटा चाहिँ समावेशी पर्यटनलाई पनि यो एउटा वकालत पनि हुन्छ। नेपाल सरकार लगायत सम्बन्धित निकायलाई यो वकालतको पनि एडभोकेसी पनि गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने उद्देश्य राखेर मैले चाहिँ बन्जी गरेको।
Sisir, an agricultural entrepreneur living with spinal paralysis, has turned his challenges into advocacy.
म अनेस्टली भन्नुपर्दा यो चाहिँ पुरै अनप्लान्ड नै हो हैन। जति पनि मेरो लाइफमा म जति पनि एडभेन्चर अथवा उ गर्छु हैन, त्यति धेरै प्लान गरेर चाहिँ गर्दिम भनेपछि गर्दिम भन्ने टाइपले चाहिँ यसको लागि चाहिँ म विशेष धन्यवाद हाम्रो दिलीप सरलाई म दिन चाहन्छु है। उहाँले मलाई थाहा नै नदिकन ल आज जाम भनेर भन्नुभयो। मैले आज भोलि हामी बन्जी जम्प गर्दैछौँ भनेर हिजो दोलालघाट आइपुगेपछि, हामी काठमाडौँबाट हिँडेको मान्छे दोलालघाट आइपुगेपछि थाहा पाएको। सो अब गरौँ न त, आइसक्यो भनेर चाहिँ हैन एउटा अनुभव पनि हुन्छ लाइफमा। हामी जस्तो अपाङ्गता भएको व्यक्तिले पनि गर्न सकिन्छ है भन्ने टाइपले हैन। अनि त्यहाँबाट अरूलाई मोटिभेट गर्नलाई साथसाथै अब आफ्नो पनि एउटा रिफ्रेसमेन्टको लागि चाहिँ अब आज हामी बन्जी जम्प गर्न जाँदैछौँ।
Together, the goal was clear: to inspire thousands and redefine what people with disabilities can achieve. A wheelchair bungee jump was no ordinary feat. It demanded innovation, precision, and absolute commitment. The team designed a secure rigging system, checked every bolt and knot, ensuring the wheelchairs and harnesses could withstand the extreme forces.
सेटअप अब खासै त्यस्तो डिफ्रेन्ट त होइन। उहाँहरूको अब स्पेसल अलिकति समस्या भएर त्यो अनुसारको सेफ तरिकाले गर्ने अर्को डिफ्रेन्ट आइडियाहरू हुन्छ हाम्रो। जस्तै अब खुट्टामा लाएर नर्मली जम्प गर्नुपर्ने, उहाँहरूले चाहिँ हामीले बडीमा मात्रै लाएर जम्प गराउँछौँ। सो खुट्टामा चाहिँ केही पनि प्रेसर पर्दैन, ढाडमा पनि कम प्रेसर पर्छ। सो त्यसरी गर्दा चाहिँ उहाँलाई एकदम कम्फर्टेबल हुन्छ। अनि प्लस अब उहाँले अब तल गएर तान्नुपर्ने हो गर्नुपर्ने कुराहरू हुन्छ। सकेसम्म उहाँहरूले ट्राई गर्नु भएन भने हामी एकजना रेस्क्यु स्ट्यान्ड बाई हुन्छ। अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ हामी अलिक प्रिपेयर गरेर गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। अब सेफ्टीको हिसाबले अलिकति डिफ्रेन्ट तरिका चाहिँ अपनाउनु पर्यो हामीले।
This was not a stunt. It was proof that adventure can be made accessible.
34औं अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय अपङ्गता दिवस हो। सो यो अपङ्गता दिवसकै दिनमा चाहिँ के एउटा चाहिँ एडभेन्चर गरौँ हैन। अब कसैले पनि अब व्हिलचेयरमै चाहिँ बन्जी गर्नुभएको छैन, त्यसको लागि पनि एउटा चाहिँ पहिलोचोटि गर्दै हेर अरू साथीहरूलाई पनि एउटा चाहिँ इन्करेज गरौँ भन्ने चाहना हो खास।
At the edge of the platform, Silence fell. Dilip rolled forward first. The count began.
Happy International Disability Day, all of you.
A symbol of confinement transformed into a vessel of freedom, probably the first ever wheelchair bungee jump in Nepal.
Promax bungee! खासै अहिले चाहिँ पुरा म नर्मल चाहिँ एकदम चिलमा छु हैन अब यहाँ हाम फाल्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ म हाम फालिसकेपछि अनुभव सुनाउँछु अहिले चाहिँ आई एम भेरी एक्साइटेड आई एम गोइङ टु डु समथिङ फर माइसेल्फ हैन आई एम गोइङ टु डु माई फर्स्ट बन्जी अफ माई लाइफ so I'm very excited.
Then came Sisir's turn. With equal determination, he embraced the drop.
Let's go.
His leap cemented the moment, not a solo feat, but a shared victory.
Yes. उहाँले आर यु रेडी भन्नुभयो मैले ठिक छ म रेडी भने मैले आँखा चिम्म गरिदिएँ अनि त्यसपछि ठ्याक्कै उहाँले 1 2 3 जम्प भन्नुभयो उहाँले पुस गरिदिनु भयो मलाई म पुस गरेको आँखा चिम्मको चिम्म तल पुगेपछि ठ्याक्क त्यो डोरीले तान्छ नि तानेर माथि आएपछि त्यो समय चाहिँ मैले यस्तो फिल गरेँ कि म बाँचेँ हैन मसँग अब चाहिँ सबै चिजहरू मसँग फेरि पनि छ र मलाई चाहिँ एकदमै आनन्द त्यो टाइमको त्यो 2 सेकेन्ड 3 सेकेन्डको एउटा चाहिँ ह्याप्पिनेस एउटा त्यो रिफ्रेस एउटा त्यो फिलले चाहिँ एकदमै ह्याप्पी दियो क्या मलाई इनर्जी भित्रदेखि मसँग भइरहेको सिद्धिरहेको एउटा चाहिँ इनर्जीलाई ठ्याक्क दियो त्यो झर्दाखेरिको चाहिँ मेरो माइन्ड पुरै रिसेट भइदियो जस्तो भयो क्या केही पनि छैन म एकदमै एकदम नील मसँग केही पनि छैन रित्तियो सकियो मैले सबै चिज छोडिदिएर म झरिसकेको थिएँ हाम फालिसकेको थिएँ तर पुगेर ठ्याक्क तानेर ल्याउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो एउटा मुभमेन्ट चाहिँ मेरो लाइफको चाहिँ एकदम इन्जोयफुल मुभमेन्ट हो जसले चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ आजको दिनसम्म अझ धेरै उत्प्रेरणाहरू जगाएको एउटा मुभमेन्ट हो त्यो मुभमेन्ट चाहिँ मेरो लागि एकदम मेमोरियल पनि छ
Dilip and Sisir's jump was more than a thrill. It was a loud scream demanding change, a call for accessible tourism.
एक्सेसिबिलिटी कै कुराहरु हुन्छ के हजुरको जस्तो अब मैले पोखरामा प्याराग्लाइडिङ गर्दाखेरि कायाकिङ गर्दाखेरि हैन अपर मुस्ताङ चाहिँ हजुरको चाहिँ त्यो अफ रोड गाडीमै जाँदाखेरिको कुराहरुमा चाहिँ अलिकति एक्सेसिबल अलिकति हामीलाई चाहिँ पहुँचयुक्त चाहिँ ठाउँहरु भएदेखि अलिकति सजिलो हुन्थ्यो भनौं न अब यो झोलुङ्गे पुलहरुबाट गरिन्छ हैन त्यहाँ चाहिँ हल्का र्याम्प के जस्तो व्हीलचेयरकै लागि पनि एउटा स्ट्र्याप राख्दाखेरि त काठको एउटा भनौं न त्यो फ्लोरिङ जस्तै टाइपले गर्दै भने त हेल्प गर्ने असिस्ट गर्नेलाई पनि सजिलो हुने अनि हामीलाई पनि सजिलो हुने चाहिँ हुन्छ
Music, dance, food, art and devotion are the lifeblood of Newar culture, an ancient civilization rooted in the Kathmandu Valley of Nepal. With lively festivals nearly every fortnight, the Newars celebrate life through a rich tapestry of traditions known as Jatra.
At every bend of the serpentine Bheri River, a new face of nature emerges. Each turn revealing a beauty so varied and mesmerizing that it moves the heart moment by moment. Traveling from Chinchu of Surkhet through Jare and Mehelkuna toward Gorbakot, the Bheri displays its quiet miracles. Over its crystal blue flow drifts the rustle and chirping of dozens of birds. The whisper of nearby trees merges with the vast blue sky, reflecting a harmony of natural splendor. Cutting through Chinchu, heading along the proud and scenic terrain of Gorbakot, our thoughts find themselves racing steadily along the Madan Bhandari highway toward Lake Besi in Surkhet. Our destination, the Raute settlement. We seek to observe closely the lifestyle of this indigenous group, long perceived as distant. We hope to feel a sense of closeness with a community rarely encountered, where the Raute, in their most authentic form, stand before us to share their stories. The Raute have cultivated a unique identity as Nepal's nomadic ethnic group. If someone in their settlement dies, they immediately abandon that location and do not return for 10 years, a tradition that makes permanent settlement extremely challenging. Their temporary homes are built by fixing wooden stakes into the ground, tying cross pieces, and covering the structure with old cloth and tarpaulin.
सधैँभरि यो पुर्खा मेरो पुर्खौली त्यस्तो छ त्यस्तो नभइदिए भए एक ठाउँमा बस्ने थियो एक ठाउँमा नभए यो हजुरलाई हल्दुवार यो घर बनाउँछौँ त्यस्तो घर हामी मन पर्दैन मेरो मन परेको यही यस्तै चिरपाल तागा तागा कोडाउनु हुन्छ हामीले यस्तै मन पराउँछ यही गाडो लगाएर राम्रो मान्छौँ अब पहिले हेर्न जानु पर्यो पहिला सबै त्यो हेर्न तपाई आफै यो हामी आफू त जाँदैन केटाउरु जान्छ त केटाउरु गएर फेरि हेरेर ठाउँ राम्रो छ कि नराम्रो छ कि भनेर ठाउँ यो जहाँ ठाउँ राम्रो भयो त्यही जाने यस्तै पाखामा को बस्न सक्छ र यस्तै समूह जग्गा चाहियो.
Especially during winter, protecting themselves from the cold becomes difficult. They sleep on the bare ground with only thin tarpaulins, not enough clothing to cover their bodies fully. Men wear a loincloth and wrap their backs with coarse cloth, knotted in front and falling to the thighs, with a cap or a small turban on their heads. Women wear a short, patterned skirt of rough fabric and a handmade blouse that covers only part of the torso and chest. Women adorn themselves with earrings, necklaces and bracelets made of iron, brass and aluminum. When we visited in late Kartik, the cold had already set in, yet the Raute sat on the ground as usual. Even when ill, they rely solely on their chieftain, traditional healing practices and herbal remedies. The Raute tell that the community consists of 3 clans, Katyal, Raskoti and Samalvanshi Shahi. According to the National Census of 2021, Raute population stands at 566. It was 618 in the 2011 census.
बात यो कोही मान्छे यो पहिला त आया थिएन अब आजभोलि त यो चामल पनि आउँछ भट्टा पनि लाग्यो हो कि होइन चामल पनि आउँछ यो तिरपाल पनि आउँछ ब्ल्याङ्केट आउँछ खाना पुग्यो त भइयो अब भोकै मरेको छैन के अरे बाहिरबाट आयो भने कामधारी त गर्नु पर्यो हो कि होइन त्यो काम कुसी बनाउनु पर्यो, मधुस बनाउनु पर्यो, खाद बनाउनु पर्छ। अब दरार जुरो हामी बनाउँदैन।
हजुर।
Traditionally, the Raute have lived in the forests, ravines and riverbanks of districts like Dailek, Jajurkot, Surkhet, Acham, Salyan, Dang and Kalikot. They dwell in the wilderness, hunt monkeys and carve wooden utensils which they exchange for grain in nearby villages. It's a cycle that sustains their livelihood. The Raute have distinct marriage customs. After marriage, a separate area is set aside for the couple. According to Raute belief, a widow should not remarry after her husband's death. Marriages occur strictly within their own community between Raute youths. Apart from cooking pots at home, an axe for cutting trees, and a chisel-like tool for shaping wood, the Raute do not store belongings. Men prefer to hunt monkeys using traps, while women gather wild roots and tubers. With just an axe and chisel, they craft wooden utensils. Once, the Raute believed touching money would bring misfortune. They also avoided speaking with outsiders. But today, they readily ask anyone for money, an indicator of the slow transformation in their lifestyle and consumption habits.
1000 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ, 100 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ, 500 हुन्छ, 50 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ, 20 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ, 5 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ, 10 रुपैयाँ हुन्छ। आधा आमा दिने आधा म।
आमा राखेको पैसा चाहिँ के गर्ने?
बाख्रा ल्याउने।
बाख्रा ल्याउने?
बाख्रा सल्ल, नुन, खुर्सानी, तेल, बिसार सबै ल्याउने चिज। मेरो नाम फुलमाया।
कति वर्षको भयो?
म 18 भयो।
अनि स्कुल जान्छ जाँदैन?
स्कुल त जान थियो पहिला त जान दिएन। आज बोले पनि स्कुल जान दिन्न।
कसले?
मुखियाले।
किन नि?
मुखियाले नि पढ्न लेख्न दिन्न त।
किन होला त त्यस्तो?
खै के पो होला नि मुखियाले दिन्न नि।
र
पढ्न जान त मन त लाग्छ तर पढ्न दिन्न।
In recent years, increasing dependence on alcohol has begun to create serious health issues within the community.
कहिले न कहिले यो यहाँ जंगलमा बस्ने बजार हेर्न जाने बरु किस्टोडा आडा मैले मान्छुमा कसैले बजारको नासाई हुन्छ त्यो नास हेर्न जाने कसैले यो मौसुक लाग्छ त्यस्तो मौसुक यो जंगलबाट मौसुक हेर्यो भने झन् आउनु मान्छु यो मेरो परिवर्तन नगर्ने मान्छे परिवर्तन गरेको कहिले पनि राम्रो भन्दैन हामी मेरो पुर्खैबाट यो परिवर्तन नगरेको मान्छ परिवर्तन गरेको यो पैसा चाहिँ आँखाले पैसा चिनेता भइहाल्यो।
Nepal's constitution not only recognizes the equal existence, rights and dignity of all ethnic groups, but also ensures fair protection, upliftment, empowerment and development of marginalized and endangered communities. The state has pledged equal distribution of economic, social and cultural opportunities with special provisions for the protection and advancement of disadvantaged people within minority groups. Although the federal and provincial governments have introduced various programs for the Raute community in recent years, the lives of the Raute have yet to see the meaningful improvement envisioned.
Shall we start now?
I'll try my best.
Okay. Your best performance, okay?
The most important innings for me would be the Nepal versus Hong Kong game. And I scored 41 runs because that match, it was one step into the World Cup. And for me, I remember going into that game, I thought I'll not hit the ball in the air at all because if I stayed in the crease and scored runs, meant that Nepal had better chances of winning. And those 41 runs in that game would probably be the most valuable innings that I've ever played, where I got run out. But that every run, if I think of it now, would probably be the time when I took the most pressure during my whole 20 years of career. But those would be the most important runs of my career.
Best Nepali batsman of all time?
It's difficult. Why? Because I have seen a lot of great players, and you look at the current batch of cricketers, meant that everyone's been performing exceptionally well. If I really had to pick one name, just from a talent perspective, who did not play as much for Nepal but was extremely talented, was Sandeep Shrestha. He played few matches for Nepal, but just looking at him, he was so casual at how he played the sport.
I can't agree with you anymore. Best coach you have played under?
If I really had to pick one person, would be Pubdu, because that transformation of Nepal cricket from 11 to 16 while he was here, and we qualifying for the World Cup was an important moment.
Most difficult opponent you have played against?
Obviously, Afghanistan and Nepal always, gets compared. I remember playing Afghanistan's first match in 2005, and then they wanted to become a test playing nation in 2016.
Best bowler you have faced, or the most difficult bowler you have ever faced?
I think Basant Rigmi easily is the best bowler that I played. I keep saying Sandeep played the IPL, he's gone on to play all leagues all over the world, he's been phenomenal. But Basant Rigmi, if let's say had got the platform back in the day, from a fast bowler who turned into a left arm spinner, probably the best bowler that I have faced, and at one point he was probably the best left arm spinner and somebody who nobody could hit.
Best upcoming talent?
I think Gulshan Jha, the potential that he has as an all-rounder, and he's left-handed. Obviously, there's a lot more things that he needs to add up into his game, but he has potential to really grow into something.
Best Nepali bowler? Seam?
Would be Binod Das. I think he was probably the best fast bowler that I played. I mean, Sompal and Karan have carried the nation's burden for the last 10 years, but Binod Das was probably the best fast bowler.
He was the leading fast bowler in the associate countries at his peak as well. 2014 T20 World Cup qualification or 2018 ODI status?
It has to be the World Cup, and I really can't pick between the two. Why? Because the ODI status is important for the overall setup of how a cricket nation functions at the associate world, but qualifying for the World Cup and playing the World Cup meant that cricket became important to this nation. So I would definitely pick the World Cup.
Best ever performance under your captaincy, Nepal's?
3 matches we played at the World Cup.
14 World Cup.
Because at the global stage, we never played under floodlights. We went into Dubai a week ago. And also when you are young, I think we were a young team. We had no fears. We were a strong unit, backed by good coaching. Whatever that we had, we were happy about it. And that moment where we were presented in front of the world, we did not crumble. Playing against Hong Kong, playing against Afghanistan, and competing against Bangladesh, meant that that is when we made our first significant impact. So those 3 matches would probably be the best performance. But if you go through the Division 5, 4, 3, 2 cycle, more. I mean, every tournament has its own story, and it has been an incredible journey.
Best batsman in world cricket you admire?
Has to be Brian Charles Lara. Got to see him in Nepal as well, so he was a genius.
He was a genius. Best all-rounder in world cricket?
Jack Callis, easily.
All right.
When you look at his batting stats, his bowling stats, there's no comparison to what he has achieved.
Exactly. Best bowler in world cricket all time?
Shane Warne. I'll probably say he's the greatest cricketer that played the sport.
True. You are a big Aussie fan as well?
I follow the Australian cricket team.
Best captain in world cricket all time?
if I really have to go back old school, would have to be Stephen Fleming. Fleming was a great leader, left-handed batter,
the New Zealand, the
and
Kiwi captain.
is still coaching the Chennai Super. A great cricket mind, and even Ricky Ponting, if you think of the fact that he had to lead this team of gladiators and had to captain them. Steve Waugh led by examples day and day. But if I had to pick one person, if it's a name, Stephen Fleming. Although he didn't win championships, but had a lot of respect with everybody around and still does.
Paras, let's sit down now. Let's create Nepal's all-time 11, all formats.
It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be difficult. Let's try.
Sandeep Shrestha is opening. Then you'd probably pick maybe Kushal
Bhutel. Paris opening. Fantastic.
2. Then number 3 would be Gyanendra Malla.
Superb.
Number 4.
Let's try.
Number 4 would be Dipender Singh Airi.
Dipender Singh Airi, of course.
At number 4.
Okay.
Sarat Visagar at 5.
5.
Raju Kharka at 6.
6.
Then Shakti Gautam at 7.
7.
Basant Ragmi at 8.
8.
Sandeep Lamichhane at 9. Binod Das.
Okay.
And it'll be difficult between Sompal and Karan.
All right.
Because both of them, so depending on the format, because both have been great match winners, which means that if it's ODI, I would pick Sompal.
Being diplomatic here.
If it's ODI, I mean if it's T20, I would pick Karan. So that's the playing 11. Sandeep
Shrestha, number 1.
Kushal Bhutel, Gyanendra Malla at 3, Dipender Singh Airi at 4, Sarat Visagar at 5, Raju Kharka at 6, Shakti Gautam at 7, Basant Ragmi at 8, Sandeep Lamichhane at 9, Binod Das at 10, and 11 would be
either Sompal or Karan.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, all-rounders, please rank. Raju Kharka?
1. Dipender Singh Airi 2.
All right.
Shakti Gautam 3.
All right.
Gulshan Jah 4.
All right.
Mehboob Alam at 5. So
Mehboob Alam at 5.
As global geopolitics continues to evolve, regional institutions are being asked to do more than fostering dialogue. They are increasingly expected to deliver stability, connectivity, and shared prosperity. Against this backdrop, the Bay of Bengal is re-emerging as one of Asia's most strategically significant regions, placing renewed focus on regional cooperation. Welcome to Geopod. I am Shivani Thapa Bosnian. At the heart of that conversation is BIMSTEC, a regional organization bringing together 7 countries across South and Southeast Asia, representing nearly 1.8 billion people and an economy approaching some $5 trillion. Joining us today is its Secretary General, a distinguished diplomat whose career has spanned more than 3 decades across some of the world's most consequential diplomatic capitals. His Excellency Indramani Pandey. Your Excellency, welcome to Geopod.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to Geopod.
Your Excellency, your visit to Kathmandu comes particularly at a very interesting moment to Nepal and the wider region. So, what makes this visit significant from BIMSTEC's perspective?
The purpose of this visit was to have an opportunity to meet with Honorable Foreign Minister and also Honorable Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, the sectors in which Nepal leads, and basically I was looking for an opportunity to brief the new leadership of Nepal about what is BIMSTEC's agenda, the areas where we are cooperating, the progress that we have made, and seek their guidance, seek their support for future work.
What did you grasp from these engagements?
I'm very encouraged by a very, very positive response from both the ministers whom I called on. They expressed the firm commitment of the government of Nepal to continue to work together with other member states of BIMSTEC for strengthening this organization, for expanding cooperation under BIMSTEC, and there was assurance by the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs himself that Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to render its full support to make BIMSTEC a successful regional organization. Similarly, Honorable Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation expressed support for the initiatives that our member states have been taking to strengthening cooperation in these very important areas. He underlined actually the importance of relations among the people, particularly engaging our youth, engaging student communities, engaging academic communities, and we discussed some of the ways in which we can strengthen cooperation in these areas. So my courtesy calls on both honorable ministers was very useful. Similarly, I had a very comprehensive discussion with Honorable Foreign Secretary of Nepal, where we went over the comprehensive agenda of BIMSTEC, and we decided the next steps that will be taken under BIMSTEC and where Nepal would be playing a very significant role.
How intensively, Your Excellency, was the role of Nepal within the BIMSTEC? How intensively was this discussed during this meeting?
The discussion focused on the importance of regional cooperation. In fact, the growing importance of regional cooperation in the current geopolitical context, and there was firm affirmation of the importance that Nepal continues to attach to BIMSTEC. It was underlined that Nepal has always believed in multilateral diplomacy, both at the global level and at the regional level. And if we look at the key role that Nepal has been playing, it has always been very proactive globally and regionally in contributing to this platform. So for Nepal has been member of BIMSTEC for past 22 years, and I would like to underline that in these 22 years it has not only continued to support BIMSTEC but has played a very important role.
Let's step back from the immediate purpose of your visit and take a quick look at the bigger picture. Now, diplomats are defining the current scenario as an inflection point for international relations. The assumptions, shaped largely post the Cold War era, from globalization to multilateralism, are being increasingly questioned. So, Your Excellency, how do you assess this international order vis-a-vis the geopolitical and economic dynamics?
Where the fundamental changes to the rules-based international order, there are questions about continued relevance of that order. There are concerns about how this situation will evolve in future, what kind of geopolitical environment will face in future. So there are huge uncertainties and also unpredictabilities. So at this stage we find ourselves in a position where we cannot even predict how the situation is going to evolve. So it's a period where countries, while working multilaterally and bilaterally, are certainly concerned about how this order will shape in future and what kind of situation they will encounter. So even this kind of environment That's what I have been trying to underline, that regional cooperation becomes even more important than ever.
What, in your view, Your Excellency, do you think is the single biggest force reshaping this international relations today? Is it climate, technology? What is it?
I think some of the geopolitical developments, together with the abiding challenges that we are facing due to climate change, also technologies that are reshaping the way we interact, the way we do business, the way our societies have been interacting. So, for example, artificial intelligence together with digital technologies. So these transformations are taking place at the same time when international order is under stress. So countries find themselves in a situation where they find that not only geopolitics, geoeconomics, geostrategic environment, their ability to engage in external trade, everything is under stress. So these are very complex challenges, and all these challenges interact with one another and make sometimes even more complex.
How do you think regional institutions remain effective and at the same time relevant in an increasingly complex geopolitical environment?
One of the characters of this increasingly complex geostrategic environment is that it's not easy to build consensus. So that's why multilateral institutions at the global level are facing challenges on how to build consensus, how to build convergences, find ways to cooperate. But when we look at a group of countries in a specific region, then they have opportunity to work together, because it's easier to build consensus, find convergences when you have a small number of players in the room. For example, under BIMSTEC we have 7 countries. So when 7 countries are meeting together, it's much easier to find convergences and build consensus than when you have more than 195, 96 countries meeting together. So that is why regional cooperation has become more relevant. Also, if I could underline, some of the challenges which we are facing now related to energy security, food security, disruptions in supply chain, we can find answers regionally working together. So that's why I believe cooperation under BIMSTEC becomes even more relevant today than it ever was.
Around the world, institutions like the United Nations and the WTO are facing increasing pressure, while regional groupings are becoming more active. Now, do you see regional organizations complementing multilateralism or gradually filling the spaces where the global institutions are struggling?
I see them as complementary, because there is a lot of space for multilateral global institutions to continue to contribute within the limitations that they are facing, within the challenges that they are facing. And at the same time, there is a role for regional organization too. So regional organization in many areas can complement the role played by global institutions. For example, the World Health Organization plays a leading role in the health sector. But acting regionally, countries in a region can deal with some of the challenges in health sector which are regional in nature. So I see the role complementary rather than competing for space. In fact, even there is a scope for bilateral diplomacy. So I see bilateral diplomacy, regional diplomacy and multilateral leading to the same goal of countries working closely to deal with the shared challenges.
Is political trust ultimately more important than institutional design?
Institutions are designed to build political trust. So the success of the institutions that we create depends on political trust to a lot extent. And if member states agree together to build an institutions like BIMSTEC, they agree to work together under BIMSTEC, it in itself demonstrates that there is a trust among the member states that working together they will benefit in those specific areas that will actually contribute to their national initiatives, because countries on their own deal with their own security and developmental challenges. But they also believe that working together at times it will contribute to their own national initiatives. So that is where role for multilateral institutions and role for regional institutions comes into play.
How do you view the growing strategic importance or significance of the Bay of Bengal region?
It has always been a very important region, the region which has always been connected. It is believed that Bay of Bengal actually connected different parts of Asia. Our civilizational exchanges, cultural exchanges in the past, if we see the trade that took place between different parts of Asia through Bay of Bengal. So Bay of Bengal has always been a very important maritime space for people-to-people exchanges, for trade, for travel, for tourism. And what we are trying to do through BIMSTEC is to re-energize those linkages, reimagine them, and in the contemporary context try to build the very same relationships that always existed among the nations. So we are not trying to do anything new. In fact, we are just reimagining what we used to do in the past with one another and finding ways to re-establish the very same linkages.
There's also the other thing called Indo-Pacific. So how does one understand Indo-Pacific and the Bay of Bengal region?
The Bay of Bengal is a very significant part of Indian Ocean, and when seen together with Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, its importance grows even more. If we look at the trade through Asia, from one part of Asia to another part of Asia, going westward from east, the Bay of Bengal plays very important role. Similarly, from west to east, the trade flows through the waters of Bay of Bengal. So it remains a very important bay, both from the developmental perspective and from the security perspective.
Your Excellency, regional organizations are increasingly judged by outcomes and not just by aspirations. How is BIMSTEC translating regional cooperation into tangible benefits for the member states?
I fully agree with you that BIMSTEC, like any other organization, should be judged through the tangible outcomes that we can achieve through our different cooperation mechanisms. I have been interacting with think tanks, with academia, with media, and this has been the usual perspective that the cooperation should be intended to provide tangible benefits to the people. And that's why under BIMSTEC we are actually focused on engaging in tangible cooperation in different sectors. We have agreed action plans in different areas of cooperation. Our focus is on implementing those action plans, working together with our member states, but also with our external partners, so that we can leverage their capacities, their programs for the benefit of our member states. And again, if we look at the evolution of BIMSTEC in 1997, it was conceived actually as a platform where countries from South Asia and Southeast Asia could engage in tangible cooperation. If you look at our name, it says multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. So the emphasis is always on engaging in cooperation. It's a non-political organization, and our member states are committed to keep it as a non-political organization, keeping the political issues away from our agenda. If we look at our agenda, it's very comprehensive. It's development focused. We cover most of the sustainable development goals agreed by the United Nations, and our member states want to expand cooperation to cover all the sustainable development goals. So we are very development focused. We are very focused on implementation of our plans of action, our master plans, and we are committed to delivering tangible benefits to people of our nations. As you mentioned, together we are home to about 1.8 billion people. Now, if the BIMSTEC is successful, even partly in addressing some of the challenges that our people face, we would have made a significant contribution to their welfare, and that remains the abiding goal of BIMSTEC.
Connectivity, we all know, has traditionally meant roads, all sorts of ports, railways, and so on. But today, increasingly, it is including digital infrastructure, energy grids, and even financial systems and resilient supply chains, right? Has the meaning of connectivity changed?
It has expanded because traditional means of connectivity remain important. So land connectivity remains important, as also does maritime connectivity, air connectivity. But as you mentioned, we have also looked at expanding the scope of connectivity to include digital connectivity, and there is a proposal to for our member states to work together in enhancing their digital public infrastructure. We are also looking at capacity building in some new areas of technology like artificial intelligence, so that our member states, wherever there are gaps, can address those gaps and work together. There is again a proposal on the agenda to look at how do we connect the payment systems of our member states. How do we work together to make the trade among our member states in their own currencies possible? And we have recently set up a new working group on fiscal and monetary policy. And one of the items on its agenda is to look at actually how to strengthen financial relations among our member states. And I'm happy to inform your audience that this group will be meeting next month in Colombo, the very first meeting of this group, and will be looking at its comprehensive agenda. So we would like to enhance our connectivity in every dimension. Last year we signed an agreement on maritime transport cooperation, which was also signed by Nepal and Bhutan, two of our land-linked members, out of their belief that more maritime connectivity would also benefit them. We are in the process of negotiating a motor vehicle agreement to enhance land connectivity. Our master plan on transport connectivity is being implemented by our member states. So we are working in different aspects of connectivity together, so that as you underlined, we deal with connectivity in all its dimensions, and connectivity will be the bedrock for future cooperation in all of the other areas.
You made a mention of the financial systems and especially the buying each other's goods in their own currency. This draws a little attention, Your Excellency. Could you walk us through this? What is on the table at the moment, and how much of importance will this fetch during your Colombo meet?
So this is on the agenda of our experts who would be meeting for the first time actually. So they will have an opportunity to hold discussions on this very important agenda item. And then we are looking forward to some concrete outcomes of their deliberations. Because when our member state meet, they look at what they are doing nationally, then they try to identify what they can do collectively at the regional level. So when they are meeting next month in Colombo, I'm sure they would look at all the dimensions of these very important areas of cooperation, and we are looking forward to the outcome of the meeting.
Talking about artificial intelligence, like any other sector, Your Excellency, it is also reshaping diplomacy, like from negotiations to cybersecurity to public diplomacy and even conflict, right? Just a little curious thought. Is diplomacy ready for the AI age, or has it been, has it adapted quickly enough to the AI age?
Actually, diplomacy is very important in order to shape the global environment in which the AI would evolve, because we are all aware of the likely implications of some of the ways in which artificial intelligence is developing. I think there is a collective responsibility of the UN member states, both acting globally and regionally, to ensure that this evolution in artificial intelligence remains firmly anchored in the welfare of the people. It serves the interest of the people. So that is why in BIMSTEC context too, we have made a small beginning by working together with ITU, International Telecommunications Union, on engaging in capacity building about AI, so that the challenges that we are going to face in AI domain will become evident for all our member states, and then we can explore the avenues for cooperation. So the second BIMSTEC Digital Conclave, which will be held this year, is going to look at more closely on opportunities for cooperation in AI, and some of our member states have taken lead in looking at the frameworks that should govern artificial intelligence, the way it should evolve and the way it should serve the interest of people, it should serve the interest of humanity. So for us, there is an opportunity to work together at the regional level.
Security today extends certainly beyond military threats, right? So how do you think should regional organizations redefine security in the new environment?
Actually, in BIMSTEC context, we have looked at different dimensions of security of our member states. Those threats to their security which are transnational in nature, where our member states feel that by working together they can benefit. For example, under the joint working group which deals with counter-terrorism and transnational crime, we have 5 different subgroups dealing with threats like cyber security, human trafficking. They're looking at financing of terrorism and money laundering. They're looking at how to deal with the phenomena of radicalization, which then contributes to terrorism, and also a separate subgroup which has been busy with negotiating conventions. So we have under BIMSTEC a convention on counterterrorism and organized crime, which covers also drug trafficking. We have a convention already signed by our member states dealing with mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. And there are 3 more conventions where the draft texts are being negotiated by our member states, dealing with human trafficking, extradition, and transfer of convicted persons. So we are trying to create both the legal environment in which our member states can cooperate. We have developed action plans in all these areas for our member states to work together. And at the recent meeting of our national security advisors, there was a comprehensive discussion about all the contemporary challenges to security which our member states feel. And then they talked about how we can work together in dealing with some of the emerging challenges to the security. So, in a couple of months, we'll have the first meeting of the BIMSTEC Home Ministers, who will be looking at security challenges faced by our member states in a very comprehensive manner. trying to identify the way forward for the future cooperation. So we have not looked at security in its very narrow dimension. For example, under National Security Advisors mechanism, they have paid a lot of attention to maritime security and some other challenges which are there in the maritime domain, including things like maritime ecological environment, how we work together. So we have very specific frameworks for cooperation already agreed together with by our member states, and we continue to deliberate and discuss on how to move forward in future.
This brings me to a context, a recent national context here in Nepal, Your Excellency, that one of the authorities made a mention, or rather a concern on national security, citing the increasing influx of asylum seekers from the region here in Nepal. How does BIMSTEC look at this transfer?
Under BIMSTEC, we have so far looked at the phenomena of what we call human trafficking, which our member states feel that it poses a challenge in its different dimensions, and that's why there was a subgroup under the joint working group which was focused on human trafficking, and we have an agreed action plan to deal with that issue. We are in the process of finalizing the text of even a convention on dealing with various aspects of human trafficking. So it has been very much on the agenda, and we are even looking at opportunity to work together with our partner UN Organization for Drugs and Crime to deal with some of the transnational aspects of security challenges. So again, our member states, when they meet, they discuss together the challenges that they feel. There will be challenges that our member states deal with at the national level, and then there are challenges where they think they can work together and they will benefit from regional cooperation in those areas.
As the region fetches a lot of strategic vantage and importance at the moment, Your Excellency, and especially in an era of fragmented supply chains and economic uncertainty that we are currently experiencing, where do you see the Bay of Bengal region creating its greatest strategic advantage?
I think our advantage is that we already have very strong relationship among our member states. We have our foundational civilizational links, we have shared historical experiences, there is a huge cultural connect, and we have a tradition of working together. So it's not something new for member states in Bay of Bengal region to work together with one another. They have been doing so for long. So in the changed geostrategic environment, I think there is a case for our member states to continue to work together, expand their cooperation, and in that process they will be able to deal with some of the serious developmental challenges they face, or even security challenges of transnational nature they face.
How do you view Nepal's evolving role within BIMSTEC?
Nepal has been a member of BIMSTEC for past 22 years. So the decision of Nepal to join BIMSTEC in itself signified that it felt that BIMSTEC provided Nepal another opportunity to engage in cooperation with other like-minded countries. Also, BIMSTEC was conceived as an organization where countries from South Asia and Southeast Asia could work together, which would open up new opportunities for both countries from South Asia and from Southeast Asia. So that is where Nepal is very well placed to work with other member states under BIMSTEC to realize its developmental aspirations, developmental goals, and that's what it has been doing. Under BIMSTEC, we work on the basis of consensus. So our agenda has evolved with consensus of all the member states. all our mechanisms work under the same basis, that all the decisions that we take are taken together by all the member states. So member states are very comfortable under BIMSTEC to work together, because they know that its agenda has evolved with their concurrence, and success under BIMSTEC will contribute to their goals for development, for security, for prosperity of people, for peace in the region. And let me again underline that Nepal has not only contributed to cooperation in the areas that it leads, it has continued to host meetings in other sectors too. So it had hosted meeting of, for example, last year, ministers for agriculture, even though agriculture sector is led by Myanmar. Similarly, it has hosted meetings in some other areas too, which fall under the leadership of other countries. So under BIMSTEC, there is a lot of bonhomie among our member states. They all come forward to contribute to the process, and they work with this assurance that whatever successes we'll achieve, it will benefit all of them. So neither agenda is driven by a particular member state or a particular set of member states, nor the outcome. The agenda, the process, the outcome, everything is consensus based. All the member states play equally important role, and Nepal has been a very valued member of BIMSTEC, and I'm quite confident that in future too it will remain a very valued member and would make significant contributions to BIMSTEC process.
Nepal often speaks of acting as a bridge, right? But bridges only matter when people and commerce actually cross them. What practical choices should you think Nepal make over the next decade if it wishes to become indispensable within the Bay of Bengal region?
It is an indispensable part of the Bay of Bengal region. So this is my belief, that Nepal's role remains indispensable to the welfare of all the countries in the region. And that's why Nepal was welcomed as a member in 2004 with open arms by the 5 countries which were members of BIMSTEC at that time, both Nepal and Bhutan being the land-linked countries. They joined BIMSTEC because they felt that BIMSTEC will subserve their interests. So that's why Nepal continues to play that role, whether you describe it as a bridge or whether you describe it as a link. But I believe that every country has a very unique role to play in the process, and Nepal also has a very unique role to play in BIMSTEC process. Other member states appreciate the very significant role played by Nepal in BIMSTEC, and they value actually the contribution that Nepal makes to it.
Which opportunities do you feel is underutilized?
I feel that BIMSTEC could have made more progress in different areas of cooperation that we have conceived. Since the Secretariat was established in 2014, we have certainly been able to make progress in many of these areas. But I believe in both in connectivity and in enhancing intra-BIMSTEC trade and investment, we need to make more progress, because that will provide what we call the bedrock for future cooperation in many other sectors. But let me assure you that all the sectors of cooperation under BIMSTEC are very important, and our member state believe that they are equally important. So that's why there is no endeavor to prioritize any specific sector. Instead, our member states believe that let's make progress in all the sectors.
Today, economic security is national security. Supply chains, critical minerals, food, energy, digital infrastructure, right? Where should countries like Nepal focus if they are to remain economically resilient?
I would like to begin by is stressing that not only in case of Nepal, in case of all the BIMSTEC member states, we have a very young population, a very aspirational population. We have the responsibility to make sure that the benefits of the development reach people. So we have to fulfill their aspirations. All our member states are trying to do their best nationally to achieve that goal. And that is where I believe regional cooperation can play an important role by contributing to the national efforts. Again, it's not a substitute for national effort, it complements national efforts. So, in all the sustainable development goals which were agreed globally in 2015 that we need to realize by 2030, I think our member states have lagged behind in realizing all those goals. And there are opportunities to make progress. There have been certainly setbacks in realizing those goals. And I believe by working together, they can better realize those goals than acting alone. So that is where the importance of BIMSTEC comes, that cooperation under BIMSTEC will contribute to national initiatives, national efforts to realize the sustainable development goals for the people of our region. So not only people of Nepal, people of all our member states would like to see the benefits of development. They would like to become more prosperous. They would like to have more opportunities for their development. And we have that responsibility to translate our vision into reality, into tangible cooperation. So that's why rather than identifying a set of goals as more important than others, we need to focus on realizing tangible cooperation in all the areas that we have collectively agreed to work together.
The question certainly is, how do we make that happen, right? What are your priorities for BIMSTEC in the coming years?
So I'm glad you mentioned BIMSTEC priorities, because the Secretariat's priorities are fully aligned with the member states' priorities. We are there to facilitate cooperation among our member states, to anchor the initiatives that our member states take. And we always focus on implementation by working very closely with all our member states on where are the areas where we need to make swift progress. And that brings me back to the purpose of my visit, which was actually to discuss with the leadership of Nepal on where we are in terms of BIMSTEC cooperation, what we need to do for future. So I would like to underline that for all our member states at this stage, their priority is to reform and revitalize BIMSTEC and continue to work together to translate all the declarations that we have, all the action plans that we have into tangible cooperation, which should directly or indirectly benefit our people.
Drawing on your extensive diplomatic career, what lessons do you believe, Your Excellency, are the most relevant in navigating today's international environment?
I think the best compass would be to stay focused on how we define our national interests and look for opportunities, because when you have one door closing, there will be other doors which would be opening. So countries working individually or collectively should keep looking for opportunities, keep their options open, so that whenever they see an opportunity, they should be able to avail those opportunities for their own benefit. So to remain focused on how do we define our national interest, as some countries have said, like India first or Nepal first or Bangladesh first approach. I think that's the ideal approach, where countries prioritize their own national interest but look for all the doors which are open to subserve those interests. So instead of going by certain ideologies or certain beliefs, the approach should be more pragmatic, more practical, more realistic, so that in spite of all the challenges, we are able to spot the opportunities for cooperation and then work together. So that's what I feel as a diplomat, that we all should stay focused on what the priorities of our countries are.
And towards the end, if I may ask a slightly reflective question, Your Excellency. 20 years from now, when another Secretary General sits where you are today, what do you hope fundamentally changed in the Bay of Bengal region because BIMSTEC existed?
I would certainly like to see, not 20 years later, say 5 years later, 10 years later, that first we are better connected, whether it's, as you mentioned, connectivity through land routes, through maritime routes, through air routes, digital connectivity, trade connectivity. We should be able to trade more, so we should have a higher share of our external trade among our BIMSTEC member states. So intra-BIMSTEC trade and investment should certainly go up. I would like to see more people-to-people exchanges to evolve. At present, we have taken initiatives in domain of culture, tourism, beginning of youth exchanges and sports. But I would like to see more such initiatives, more activities together, more cultural exchanges under BIMSTEC banner, more student exchanges, and then exchanges among our different segments of the society, our authors, our film producers, our musicians. So we should be able to do more under people-to-people exchanges. These are the areas where Nepal leads cooperation. It has a special responsibility to identify ways in which we can be more connected at people-to-people level. So if we can have more connectivity, we trade more, we travel more, we are more connected at the people-to-people level, I'll be a very happy person.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for coming over and sharing your very, very valued insights and perspectives.
I'm so glad you gave me this opportunity to speak about BIMSTEC and to talk about Nepal's role in BIMSTEC process, the contribution that it has made, the expectations of the organization from Nepal in future. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you indeed. The questions facing our region are evolving. So too must the conversations that shape its future. Thank you for joining us on Geopod this week. I'm Shivani Thapa Bosnet. Until next time, goodbye.
It is no more the remote far west, but the wonderful west. Nine districts are in the far west province, from the low-lying Tarai to the heightening mountains. Climatically, the province has all tropical weather conditions prevailing in Nepal. This makes the province a paradise for tourists of all interests. Khaptad, Badi Malika, Api and Saipal Mountains, Surmi and Ghodagodi Lakes, Ramarosan area, Dodara Chandani, Sukla Fata Wildlife Reserve, Tikapur Botanical Garden, Amargari Fort. Dhangadi, the province headquarters, is the gateway to the state. The business hub of the far west region, Dhangadi, is becoming well equipped for political, trade and business infrastructures and other human resources. The far west region of Nepal is blessed with natural beauty. Any traveler is attracted by this epitome of beauty and a gift of Mother Nature. In addition to the natural beauty of the region, you can see the human civilizations rich in culture and arts throughout the province. The people of this region enjoy their unique lifestyle identified by their culture, language and religion. The far west region has the wealth of nature, culture and religious uniqueness to offer to every traveler. Kaptard. The Kaptard National Park, spreading across 4 districts of Doti, Acham, Bajang and Bajura of the far west province, is situated at an altitude of 3,000 meters above the sea level. The natural splendor and breathtaking views revealing geography's diversity is a sight to remember for every nature lover. This is the land of penance where Kaptard Baba lived for 50 years in his pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment. There are 22 Patans and the famous Triveni temple in Kaptard. The natural splendor of Kaptard area is attracting many domestic and foreign tourists by the day. Trekking in the Kaptard region is a lifetime experience, especially with the numerous species of birds, wildlife, flora and fauna in the numerous trails. Kaptard is the meeting point of 4 districts, Doti, Acham, Bazan and Basura, a chaste land of Kaptard Baba, an important place for religious tourism. Special prayers and worship are offered in the place during the famous Dasara fair. Some of the major attractions in the region: Badi Malika. Situated 4,200 meters above the sea level, Badi Malika is a famous religious site in remote Bajura district of the far west province. The annual fair on the occasion of Janai Purnima draws thousands of devotees at the Badi Malika temple. Lush green meadows, pure waterfalls, and whistling ravines flowing downstream are the main attractions of the natural wonder. Thousands of domestic and foreign tourists flock the temple every year during the fair and other times as well. Badi Malika is popular among people in the far west and Karnali provinces. However, few people from Kathmandu and Gadwal of India also visit this site for pilgrimage. The famous pilgrimage site in Bajura district of Far West province, Badi Malika. There is a popular belief that offering worship to deity Badi Malika fulfills one's wishes. Large fair takes place every year on Janai Purnima. The Badi Malika temple on top of a hill. The 22 patans, various species of flowers, panoramic view of the mountain range. Only a few small tea shops are seen as amenities in this area. One can reach Badi Malika by taking a flight from Nepalganj to Kolti airport of Bajura. Day-long drive from Kolti followed by 3 days of walk. Suklafata National Park is a world-famous destination for those interested in wildlife. The main attraction of the park is the large grassy meadows where the bara singers are seen in big numbers. The flock in the park is said to be the largest in the world. The park is home to 46 mammals, including endangered Bengal tiger, elephant, and anjir, and over 423 species of birds. The national park offers elephant ride and jungle safari to tourists as major recreational activities. The national park along Nepal-India border in Kanchanpur district is famous for watching wild elephants and barasingha, a heaven for wildlife enthusiasts. The attractions: grassy meadows, swamps, and wetlands. Ramaroshan, located in Acham district of Nepal at an altitude of 2500 meters above the sea level. Ramaroshan is a jewel for tourists in the Far West province. A place having 18 patch of meadows, locally known as Patans, is a major tourism destination. The beautiful Ramaroshan Lake is the major attraction for tourists here. This area is the only habitat of national bird of Nepal, Daffy, or the Lophophorus. The rhododendron forest along the trails leading to the lake rejuvenates every traveler. Amargadi Fort. Amargadi Fort is a historic castle in Amargadi municipality of Danildura. This fort is an important site of historical, archaeological, political, religious, social, and cultural aspect. the fort that witnessed the bravery of Kaji Amar Singh Thapa in the unification campaign of Nepal is strategically located at the top of a hill in the district headquarters of Dadildura. General Thapa established his administrative headquarters in the fort itself during the unification campaign. This is an interesting site for researchers and archaeological explorers. Mostly domestic and Indian tourists visit this fort. The Far West province has dozens of existing and new tourism destinations. From a breathtaking mountain range to famous temples, the province has tourism destinations for all types of travelers to engage them for even a month. As many tourism destinations are in Far West province, so is the potential of the province. Most of the tourists in the province come for travel and research. However, lack of proper infrastructures discourage many enthusiasts. The Far West province has not been able to welcome desired number of tourists in the absence of the amenities. The number of foreign tourists entering Nepal via custom points in the Far West province has seen some increment of late. But most of them hardly spend a day or two there. After entering Nepal from Kailali or Kanchanpur, most of the tourists head towards the east for capital Kathmandu or Pokhara or some other destinations. After the centralized system of governance changed to federalism, the possibilities of development has increased with the full authority now in local levels. One immediate such possibility is the trekking trail. If only the 5 proposed tourism corridors, Khakrola, Tikapur, Karnali, Badimalika, Khutia, Bipinagar, Tel Lake, Khaptar, Dhangadi, Budar, Saipal, Mahakali River and Jhulaghat, Mursa can be developed as per provincial government's plan, it could contribute to the national mission of prosperity through tourism. Many other destinations can be developed into touristic sites to welcome domestic as well as foreign tourists. The hardest geography might be discouraging, but the nature has blessed the region with glory. This is why tourism can be the base for prosperity for Far West province. It is no more the remote Far West, but the wonderful West.
Hello and welcome to our Global Business and Technology Weekly Roundup here on NTV World. I am Siksha Bhattrai. A week of major shifts across the global economy, from tariff battles and energy gains to the next phase of the AI revolution. Here are the top stories. We begin in the United States, where President Donald Trump's latest tariffs are facing a legal challenge. 25 U.S. states have filed a lawsuit against the administration, raising new questions over the future of global trade and international supply chains.
25 U.S. states have filed a lawsuit against President Donald Trump's administration over a new round of tariffs imposed on dozens of countries. The tariffs, ranging from 10 to 12.5%, target trading partners, including the United Kingdom, China, and the European Union. The U.S. administration says the measures were introduced because those countries have failed to adequately address the use of forced labor in their supply chains. White House spokesperson Kush Desai said Washington is using its lawful authority to protect American businesses from unfair trade practices. He added that countries failing to prevent the import of goods produced with forced labor are placing the unreasonable burden on the United States. The tariffs, which took effect in July, were imposed under Section 301 of the United States Trade Act of 1974, a law used to respond to unfair foreign trade practices.
Meanwhile, India and Uzbekistan are looking to strengthen economic ties. The two countries have set a target of doubling bilateral trade over the next 3 years, with a focus on investment, manufacturing, technology, and infrastructure.
India and Uzbekistan have reaffirmed their commitment to expanding economic cooperation, with both sides setting an ambitious target of doubling bilateral trade over the next 3 years. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said India and Uzbekistan are working to significantly deepen their economic partnership with the goal of doubling bilateral trade within the next 3 years. He highlighted opportunities for collaboration in mining, textiles, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, food processing and information technology and digital infrastructure. It is believed the new measures would promote greater co-investment, co-manufacturing and stronger economic integration between the two countries.
Turning to energy markets, Saudi Aramco has reported a sharp increase in second quarter profits. Higher oil and natural gas prices, along with the market volatility linked to geopolitical tensions, helped boost the earnings.
Saudi oil giant Aramco has reported a 44% year-on-year rise in second quarter net profit, driven by higher crude oil and natural gas prices. The increase followed heightened geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, which disrupted energy markets and pushed global oil prices higher. The strong earnings highlights Aramco's ability to benefit from favorable market conditions despite continued global economic uncertainty. Higher energy prices also boosted the company's cash flow, reinforcing its position as one of the world's most profitable energy producers. Analysts say ongoing geopolitical risk could continue to support oil prices in the near term, although global demand and broader economic conditions will remain key factors shaping future earnings. Analysts say ongoing geopolitical risk could continue to support oil prices in the near term, although global demand and broader economic conditions will remain key factors shaping future earnings.
Another major energy company is also reporting strong results. Shell says a second quarter profits more than doubled, supported by higher energy prices and strong trading performance.
Oil giant Shell has reported a sharp rise in second quarter profits, with earnings more than doubling to $9.84 billion, driven by higher energy prices during the conflict involving Iran. The company says disruptions to global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies through the Strait of Hormuz, along with volatile energy markets, boosted both oil prices and its trading business. Shell's first half earnings have surged by 70%, despite a decline in overall oil and gas production and damage to some of its operations in Qatar. The company says its strong trading performance and new production in Brazil helped offset losses from disrupted gas output.
Meanwhile, BP is making a major strategic move. The company plans to sell its North Sea oil and gas business ending decades of production in the region as it reshapes its global operations.
BP has said it is putting its North Sea business up for sale in a move that would end 60 years of production in the region by the oil giant. The decision follows a review of BP's operations as it seeks to slim down the group. Its North Sea business have 5 production hubs, 2 in the central North Sea and 3 west of Shetland, and employs about 1,100 people. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Andy Burnham said he told US President Donald Trump he would take a pragmatic approach to the issue of North Sea oil and gas. Trump, some trade unions, industry figures, and some Labour MPs all back increased drilling in the North Sea.
The artificial intelligence boom is creating new challenges for the technology sector. Rising demand for advanced chips is pushing up component prices, affecting electronics manufacturers and consumers around the world.
Artificial intelligence's rapid expansion is driving up demand for key consumer electronics components, creating supply shortages across global markets. The resulting increase in component prices is already feeding through to higher retail costs for products such as laptops and smartphones. It has been warned that automakers could be the next sector to face rising costs as competition for advanced chips intensifies. The price pressures have become an unintended consequence of the global AI investment boom, affecting manufacturers and consumers alike. The supply squeeze is expected to continue in the coming months, keeping upward pressure on electronics prices and potentially disrupting production across multiple industries.
Investment in AI infrastructure is also accelerating. Chinese data center supplier Chongqing InnoLight has completed Hong Kong's biggest IPO in 7 years, highlighting strong investor interest in AI-related businesses.
Chinese data center supplier Zhongxi InnoLight has raised $6.8 billion in Hong Kong's biggest initial public offering in 7 years, despite its shares briefly falling 10% on their trading debut. The company, a major manufacturer of optical transceivers used in AI data centers, supplies technology to firms including Google, Nvidia, and Huawei, and later recovered most of its early losses to close down just 2%.
And at the same time, concerns over AI safety continue to grow. OpenAI has expanded its investigation into a security incident involving autonomous AI agents, renewing debate over how rapidly developing AI systems should be managed.
OpenAI has uncovered additional cases of autonomous AI agents escaping their intended testing environments as it broadens its investigation into a recent hacking incident involving tech platform Hugging Face. The newly identified incidents were limited in scope, and there is no indication that any AI agent left OpenAI's internal network. The company says it is reviewing broader activity across its AI models as part of the ongoing investigation into the security breach. The findings are expected to intensify global discussions over AI safety and regulation as governments and industry leaders weigh the risk of increasingly autonomous artificial intelligence systems.
Technology competition between the United States and China is intensifying. Washington has introduced new restrictions on advanced robots and power equipment, citing national security and cybersecurity concerns.
The United States has announced new restrictions on imports of certain foreign-made advanced robots and solar power equipment, citing national security and cybersecurity concerns. The U.S. Federal Communications Commission said the measures target new models of network-connected robots, including humanoid and quadruped systems, as well as power inverters used to connect solar projects to the electricity grid. Washington says the technology could create risks of cyber attacks, espionage, and supply chain vulnerabilities, particularly involving Chinese manufacturers as part of efforts to reduce dependence on foreign technology. China has criticized the move, accusing the United States of using national security concerns to suppress Chinese companies and limit their global competitiveness. Previously approved products will not be affected, while new devices may undergo security reviews before receiving approval for use in the U.S. market.
In another major technology development, U.S. regulators have approved IonQ's acquisition of semiconductor manufacturer Skywater Technology. The deal is expected to strengthen America's position in quantum computing and advanced chip manufacturing.
U.S. Federal Trade Commission has approved quantum computing company Ionix's $1.8 billion acquisition of semiconductor manufacturer SkyWater Technology. The decision came after FTC leaders failed to agree on whether the merger should include conditions to protect competition. Chairman Andrew Ferguson has proposed requiring Ionix to guarantee fair access to SkyWater's manufacturing services for rival quantum computing companies. However, Commissioner Mark Meador argued the deal would not reduce competition. With no agreement on conditions, the FTC cleared the acquisition, allowing the merger to move forward. SkyWater is the largest US-based semiconductor foundry, and the deal is expected to strengthen America's growing quantum computing and advanced chip manufacturing industry.
Consumers are also feeling the impact of rising technology cost. Microsoft has increased Xbox prices worldwide, blaming higher memory and storage chips cost.
Microsoft has increased the price of Xbox consoles worldwide, citing cost of rising memory and storage chips. Its premium series console with a disk drive will now cost £670 when it previously retailed for £500. Meanwhile, a baseline Xbox Series S console now costs £430, a roughly 43% increase on its previous £300 price tag. It is among a host of tech companies to have told consumers that spiraling component costs mean they must charge more, with rival Sony hiking PlayStation 5 prices by £90 in March. Microsoft said in June it had hoped that another price hike would not be necessary, but blamed the rising cost of console storage and memory for needing to raise prices on consumers.
The global electric vehicle race continues. Chinese automaker BYD has reported another month of strong sales growth, with overseas exports helping drive its expansion.
Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD has reported its third consecutive month of rising global sales, driven by strong demand in overseas markets. The company sold more than 419,000 vehicles worldwide in July, an increase of nearly 22% compared with the same month last year. International sales were the standout performer, with overseas shipments of passenger vehicles and pickup trucks soaring more than 124% year-on-year to almost 180,000 units. The strong export growth has helped offset softer demand in China's domestic market, reinforcing BYD's position as one of the world's fastest-growing electric vehicle manufacturers as it continues to expand its global presence.
And as countries compete for future technologies, securing critical minerals has become a major priority. South Korea and Chile are expanding cooperation on lithium, copper, and other resources essential for electric vehicles and semiconductor production.
South Korea and Chile have pledged to deepen economic cooperation, with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung highlighting opportunities in critical minerals, infrastructure, public safety, and the defense industry during a business roundtable in Santiago. The event brought together executives from more than 20 South Korean and Chilean companies to explore new investment and commercial partnerships. President Lee said Chile's abundant critical mineral resources and South Korea's advanced manufacturing capabilities position the two countries as complementary economic partners. Antonio Costa, the Chilean president, said Chile's copper and lithium exports play a key role in global electric vehicle and semiconductor supply chains, with trade between the two countries making South Korea Chile's sixth largest trading partner.
And that's the week in global business and technology. Markets are shifting, industries are transforming, and the race for innovation continues. We'll keep tracking the stories driving the world economy. I am Siksha Bhattrai. See you next week.
The gorgeous temple of Changunarayan holds greater significance among the 4 Narayan temples located in different cardinal points of Kathmandu Valley. It is situated on a magnificent hilltop about 16 kilometers northeast of Kathmandu in the Bhaktapur district. Changunarayan is known for its majestic temple complex, full of magnificent artworks in stone, metal, and wood. As an important heritage site of archaeological and cultural importance, with a history of nearly 1700 years, Changunarayan was designated as UNESCO World Heritage Site in October 1979. By then, it also received the attention of international observers abroad. One of the first substantial epigraphic evidences of Nepalese history was found in the temple premises consecrated by Lichavi King Mandev, dating back to 464 AD. It shows that Changunarayan was already developed as an important sacred place long before his time. There are various myths and legends regarding the origin of Changunarayan. As detailed in the Vansavalis, Changu had already been established as a sacred site around 3rd century AD. The Ichangu inscription of Vijaya Kamdev, dated 1199 AD, informs that the temple was built by the king Haridatta Varma, happened to be 9th generations before Mandev. The time of Haridatta Varma is estimated as early as 325 AD. During Lichavi period, Changunarayan was also known as Dola Shikhar, which refers to a mount or hill in the shape of Doli. Gopal Raj Vansavali and the Changu inscription also mention it as Changu, a Newari word that refers to swing-like hill. But the evidences show that this particular place was popular as Changunarayan from the earliest time, and the same name exists in the society till present. This two-storied temple is of basic Nepalese design with possible emphasis given to masterful ornamentation. The temple may have passed through series of restoration. The present structure was probably constructed in the 17th century. Changunarayan is regarded as one of the masterpieces of Nepalese temple architecture. The older elements have been incorporated during the restorations.
A city known for its legacy, Kirtipur. Locals also call it Kipu in their own dialect. It is the largest ancient settlement after Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Bhaktapur. The city still has an impressive Malla era neighborhood. It is also home to Taudaha, the largest lake in the Kathmandu Valley. There are temples, monasteries, bihars, and stupas for both Hindu and Buddhist devotees, along with countless festivals and ritual celebrations that altogether give Kirtipur its distinct and special character. With its ancient Newar settlements, this place is a beautiful convergence of Newar culture and heritage. The 2nd century settlements here, the temples and the stupas, along with the legends and the faiths surrounding them, are fascinating. Situated beside the Kathmandu Valley, which once was a natural lake itself, Kirtipur developed as a flourishing hub of early settlement and culture. Because of this, the area is exceptionally valuable for historical and cultural study. A long time ago, the children of Kirtipur's farming families apparently made a clay tiger to play with while herding sheep and goats. To make that tiger look even more lifelike, they wanted to add a tongue. So they left their sheep and goats nearby and went into the forest to gather leaves. Upon returning, the children found their sheep and goats missing. And when they investigated, the clay tiger opened its blood-red mouth and claimed to have eaten the animals. Apparently, what had happened was that the deity Bhairav, a Hindu deity, had entered the clay tiger. In their anger, the children then cursed the clay tiger so that its mouth would remain perpetually open. This is the famous legend behind the Bagh Bhairav temple as remembered by the residents of Kirtipur. Bagh Bhairav is the revered deity of Kirtipur's residents. Situated in Kirtipur, this temple is accompanied by several smaller temples, many of which can be traced back to the 2nd century according to the historical records. Among them are temples dedicated to Yamaleshwar, Narayan, Bhavani Shankar, Ramchandra, Manavinayak, Vishwakarma, Sridhar Vishnu and Mool Ganesh, all of which were constructed in the 2nd century as per many inscriptions. The historical records mention that the Bagh Bhairav temple, originally made by Shivadev, was again renovated in the 16th century by Jagatpal Verma into a 3-tiered pagoda style. This makes the temple a central attraction of Kirtipur. Most Newar settlements, which are one of Nepal's ethnic groups, are adorned with temples and stupas. So Kirtipur is home to countless temples and stupas as well, too many to count by hand. The Uma Maheshwar temple here is located at the highest point in Kirtipur. From here, one can take in panoramic views of the entire Kathmandu Valley. Swayambhu, an ancient Buddhist stupa, is clearly visible from this vantage point. It is said that the temple's elevation is roughly the same as that of Swayambhu's. On clear days, the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, can also be seen from here. Uma Maheshwar, representing the Hindu deities of Shiva and Parvati in another form, is considered a symbol of family happiness and love. The temple's tiered roofs, its design, the surrounding houses, and the views are not only beautiful but also reflect its historical significance. It is an excellent place to explore and spend an entire day. Kirtipur is special not only for Hindu devotees but also for Buddhists. Its stupas and vihars are ideal for the study, research, and promotion of Buddhism. The Chilancho Stupa, located atop the hill, is said by historians to have been built during Emperor Ashok's visit to Nepal. Its renovation, however, took place in the 16th century during the time of Jagatpal Verma. This site is ideal for prayer and meditation. It feels like Chilancho spreads wisdom along with its fluttering flags under the open sky. It is said that seeing the hills surrounding the Chilancho Stupa, Prithvi Narayan Shaha, the 18th century king who unified Nepal, coveted Kirtipur. His attempts to capture Kirtipur, intended to make conquering Kathmandu, Bhaktapur and Patan easier, only succeeded on the third try.
किर्तिपुरको चाहिँ लोकेसनै अलिकति स्ट्रेटेजिकली एकदम महत्त्वपूर्ण लोकेसनमा छ हैन किनभने किर्तिपुर अब पृथ्वीनारायण शाहलाई पनि के लाग्यो भने किर्तिपुर यो डाँडाकोमा छ डाँडामाथि छ डाँडामा चाहिँ एउटा त्यति बेला चाहिँ किल्लाको रूपमा पनि थियो हैन त्यो भएको नालले चाहिँ किर्तिपुर जित्यो भने अरु चाहिँ सजिलै जित्न सकिन्छ भन्ने खालको पृथ्वीनारायण शाहलाई पनि लागेको थियो हैन त्यसले गर्दाखेरि उले चाहिँ काठमाडौँ भ्यालीलाई अब काठमाडौँ यो जुन तीनवटा शहर र यो भ्यालीलाई आफ्नो कन्ट्रोलमा राख्न अगाडि सबभन्दा पहिला किर्तिपुरमा कन्ट्रोल लिन सक्यो भने यहाँबाट चाहिँ अनि चाहिँ अरुलाई अरु एरियामा चाहिँ सजिलैसँग कन्ट्रोलमा लिन सकिन्छ भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ उले चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ टार्गेट बनाएको हो एउटा कुरा त यो स्ट्रेटेजिकली उचाइमा परेको हुनाले र यसमा पनि यहाँको कोर बस्ती भनेको चाहिँ डाँडाबाट माथि आउनु पर्ने र त्यति बेला तपाईले सुन्न भए पनि होला किर्तिपुर चाहिँ पुरा गढ पर्खालले घेरिएको थियो त्यो घेरिएको हुनु र चाहिँ त्यहाँ चाहिँ 12 वटा ढोकाहरू चाहिँ थियो र बारुद ढोकाबाट मात्र प्रवेश गर्न सकिने त्यस्तो भएको हुनाले चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ स्ट्रेटेजिकल्ली एउटा चाहिँ यो कोर्टको रूपमा वा चाहिँ गढको रूपमा चाहिँ विकास भएको पाइन्छ। फर्स्ट वारमा चाहिँ कालुपाँडे चाहिँ बर्ड भयो, कालुपाँडे मार्यो। त्यसपछि चाहिँ के भनाइ छ भने किर्तिपुरहरूले चाहिँ कालुपाँडेको टाउको बोकेर हैन त्यहाँ चाहिँ जात्रा गरेको हामी जित्यौँ भनेर जात्रा गर्यो भन्ने छ। अब त्यो हिस्टोरिकल्ली छ, कतिको फ्याक्ट छ थाहा छैन। त्यसले गरेर त्यो भनेको चाहिँ त्यो पनि अब त्यो रिस्क त छ नि पृथ्वीनारायण शाहलाई। अनि अर्को के छ भने सेकेन्ड वारमा चाहिँ फेरि चाहिँ आफ्नै भाइको चाहिँ आँखा फुटिएको छ हैन। त्यसरी दुईपल्ट चाहिँ उसले चाहिँ एकदमै हार, त्यो पनि हार पनि एकदमै हार मात्र होइन, त्यो अब कालुपाँडेको टाउको बोकेर हैन पुरा खुसियालले मनाउनु भनेको त्यसले गरेको चाहिँ एकदमै त्यो ह्युमिलिएट भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि पछि जब ऊ सत्तामा आयो भए चाहिँ जब उसले कन्ट्रोलमा लियो उसले चाहिँ बर्बर तरिकाले नै यो किर्तिपुरहरूलाई पनि दुःख दिनुपर्छ भनेर दुःख दिएकै हो।
This stupa houses the Pancha Buddha, the depiction of 5 knowledge of Buddha. Facing east is Akshobhya, mounted on an elephant and with earth-touching gestures. Facing south is Ratnasambhav, mounted on a horse and showing the Varad Mudra, which is a gesture of generosity and granting boons. Facing north is Amitabh, seated on a peacock in the meditation mudra, symbolizing infinite light and compassion. Facing west is Amogha, seated on a Garud with the Nag hood in Abhay Mudra, a gesture of fearlessness and protection. At the center sits Vairochan, mounted on a lion and invisible, imparting profound knowledge of Buddhism. The presence of these 5 Buddhas is believed to guide those who have lost their way, whether it is in spiritual seeking or in travel. The stupas, vajras, and stone statues here are enchanting, capable of captivating visitors for hours. In Panga of Kirtipur, there is a cremation site. The deceased of the Panga community are cremated here, but this place is different from others. According to local tradition, one cannot stay behind after setting the body on fire. Normally in other places in Hindu tradition, after the cremation, the ashes are collected after a process that can take up to hours. Here, however, bodies are covered with 9 pieces of wood for adults and 7 for children, along with water-soaked straw. Then the fire is lit before it is time to leave the site. This tradition is only for the people of Panga. Next to the burial ground stands the Vishnu Devi temple, one of the several Shakti Peeth or sacred power sites of the people of Kirtipur. The area is peaceful and known for its spiritual atmosphere. Kirtipur is not only famous for its monasteries and chaityas, it is also rich in history and culture. This place is known for its year-round festivals, rituals, and vibrant cultural way of life. Among the important festivals are the Satgaunle Jatra, Gai Jatra, Bagh Bhairav Jatra, and Indrayani Jatra. On the day of Gai Jatra, a special dance is performed here. The Dhya Dhya Papa dance, also called Kathmar, is a ceremonial performance where dancers in unique costumes move to traditional music. It is an integral part of Kirtipur's cultural identity. Here, visitors can also find various hotels, homestays, and Newari restaurants. The Newari-style houses and pathways decorated with traditional materials are truly captivating, and the popular Newari restaurants, which draw people from all around, are plentiful. A beautiful example of Newari culture is Newari food, which include famous dishes like bara, yumari, and samay bhaji. And visitors relish these dishes with great enjoyment.
अनि अरु भनेको यो सफु मिजा पनि विशेष मान्छेले रुचाउने समय बजी बारा विभिन्न मान्छे पछि फरक छ तर विशेष चाहिँ समय बजी सफु मिजा भेरे आउनुहुन्छ अनि छाङ रक्सी विशेष यहाँको गहना जस्तै नै नेवालानामा यहाँको छाङ रक्सी भनेको एकदमै ओरिजिनल हैन ओरिजिनालिटी भएर चाहिँ मान्छेहरु यहाँको खानामा या छाङ रक्सीमा पनि कुनै मिसावट नभएको चाहिँ प्रुफ भएर चाहिँ सबै मान्छे छाङ खानाको लागि पनि आउनुहुन्छ समय बजीमा अब 12 थरी छन् हैन त्यो पनि हाम्रो शरीरको अर्गानिकमा सबै ठाउँमा चाहिँ सबैमा चाहिने हामी यो विशेष हाम्रो चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ के भनौं शुभ दिनमा चाहिँ हामी यो पूजा सजा गरेर समयबजी खाने चलन छ नि यो खाली पेटमा हैन त्यो भनेको एउटा राम्रो स्वास्थ्यको लागि एकदमै राम्रो समयबजी भयो अनि भोज चाहिँ हाम्रो एकदमै वैज्ञानिकता हैन अब एकदमै राम्रो तरिकाले चाहिँ नेवारी भोज चाहिँ खुवाउने गर्छौं हामी विशेष यहाँदेखि यो पाचन शक्तिलाई पनि एकदमै ध्यानमा राखेर चाहिँ यो पछि यो भनेर तातो चिसो मिलाएर चाहिँ अन्त्यसम्म चाहिँ खुवाउने चाहिँ एकदमै शरीरको लागि चाहिँ scientific proof नै छ क्या हाम्रो खानामा चाहिँ
Just before entering Kirtipur, you arrive at another beautiful spot, Taudaha. Known for its environmental, cultural, and religious significance, this pond stretches about 500 meters in length and 400 meters in width. It is said to be shaped like a funnel. Believed to be dwelling place of Karkotak Nag, a serpent king in Hindu-Buddhist mythology, this lake is closely linked to the legends of Manjushri, a Hindu-Buddhist mythological figure, and the Rato Machindranath Jatra. According to the folklore, when the Kathmandu Valley was still a lake, Manjushri cut open the hills to draw the water. The serpents living there were left without a home, so Bhimsen, a powerful heroic figure in Nepali folklore, created Taudaha to shelter them. The famous photo or vest displayed during the Rato Machindranath Jatra also traces its origins to Karkotak Nagraj and Taudaha. Legend says the vest belonged to Karkotak Nagraj, who gifted it to a farmer after the farmer cured his sick serpent queen.
हाम्रो भ्याली चाहिँ एउटा लेक थियो भन्ने चाहिँ छ अनि त्यो लेक हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब मञ्जुश्री चाहिँ आइपुग्नु भयो यो काठमाडौँ भ्यालीमा अनि उहाँले चाहिँ अब यहाँ चाहिँ तपाईको मानव बस्ती बसाउँछु भनेर एउटा सोच राख्नुभयो त्यो क्रममा चाहिँ तपाईको जुन एउटा भ्याली चाहिँ लेक थियो अनि त्यसपछि त्यहाँ तपाईको बीचमा एउटा कमलको फूल थियो अनि त्यसबाट चाहिँ स्वयम्भूनाथ चाहिँ स्थापना भयो भनेर चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यसलाई रिलेट गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अनि तपाईको मञ्जुश्रीले चाहिँ यो ठाउँमा चाहिँ मानव बस्ती बसाउनको लागि तपाईको यो चोबार हाम्रो चोबारको गलछेडो चाहिँ काट्नु भयो अनि त्यसपछि त्यो कमलको फूल चाहिँ तपाईको स्वयम्भू भयो अनि त्यसपछि त्यो गलछेडोबाट चाहिँ तपाईको अब सबै पानी सँगसँगै पानीमा हुने सबै चीज बगेर जाने भयो अनि त्यो चाहिँ तपाईको नागहरू पनि त्यसमा पर्यो अनि नाग चाहिँ तपाईको त्यो नाग गएपछि चाहिँ अब यो पानी नपर्ने खडेरी लाग्ने तपाईको विभिन्न हिस्ट्री किम्वदन्ती अनुसार तपाईको अनि त्यो हुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ हाम्रो कर्कोटक नाग राजालाई चाहिँ तपाईँको यहाँ ल्याएर चाहिँ मञ्जुश्रीले स्थापना गर्नुभयो भन्ने चाहिँ एउटा किंवदन्ती छ। मसिन्द्रनाथ चाहिँ तपाईँको पानीको देवता भनेर पनि चिन्छौँ हामीले। पानीको लागि चाहिँ मसिन्द्रनाथको पूजा गर्ने, यो हाम्रो जात्रा गर्ने, यो चाहिँ तपाईँको त्योसँग भयो। अनि प्लस तपाईँको त्यो जुन मसिन्द्रनाथको तपाईँको भोटो चाहिँ, जुन भोटो चाहिँ त्यो जात्रामा देखाइन्छ, त्यो भोटो पनि हाम्रो यहाँको नागले चाहिँ तपाईँको दिनुभएको भन्ने चाहिँ एउटा किंवदन्ती छ। त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँको यहाँको नागको चाहिँ तपाईँको एउटा किसानले चाहिँ उपचार गरिदिनु भएको थियो आँखाको। अनि त्यो उपचार गरिदिएपछि चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँको एउटा गिफ्ट, यो भोटो चाहिँ तपाईँलाई भनेर किसानलाई दिनुभएको थियो। र त्यो किसान चाहिँ तपाईँको काम गर्दा गर्दै, खेतमा बारीमा एउटा काम गर्दा गर्दै तपाईँको त्यो भोटो राखेर तपाईँ काम गरिरहँदाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा भूतले चाहिँ तपाईँको त्यो भोटो चोरेर लग्यो अरे। अनि त्यसपछि त्यो भोटो चाहिँ तपाईँको चोरेर लाँदाखेरि अनिखेरि त्यो खोज्दाखेरि अब कहीँ पत्ता लागेन। अनि एक दिन चाहिँ यही जात्रामा तपाईँको जात्रामा गइराख्दाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईँको त्यो भोटो लाएर आएको चाहिँ देखेर त्यो किसानले, अनि मेरो भोटो भनेर त्यहाँ अब वार भयो भनौँ न। अनि त्यसपछि त्यो भोटो चाहिँ, अनि त्यसपछि त्यहाँ जस मसिन्द्रनाथले चाहिँ लिएर यो चाहिँ प्रमाण जसले ल्याउन सक्छ भोटोको मेरो हो भनेर उसैको हुन्छ यो भोटो भनेर चाहिँ तपाईँको त्यो मसिन्द्रनाथको जात्रामा चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यो भोटो देखाउने चलन छ र त्यसलाई चाहिँ त्यसरी रिलेटेड छ यो चाहिँ हामीसँग।
Taudaha is rich not only in religious and cultural significance but also in biodiversity. The area is home to 38 species of plants, 36 species of insects, and 116 types of birds. Swans gliding across the lake, birds perched in nearby trees, colorful fish swimming below, and small snakes seen occasionally along the banks. All of it make it easy to lose track of time while observing this vibrant ecosystem. In winter, birds migrate here from Siberia, Mongolia, and Tibet to escape the cold. Species such as lahari, kalihas, khoya, malak, and birds like great cormorant and Indian pond heron are also found here at Taudaha. These migratory birds travel thousands of kilometers from various countries to reach this lake. As a wetland area, Taudaha hosts water, land, vegetation, aquatic animals, amphibians, and other wildlife all in one place. For this reason, the lake attracts everyone from casual tourists to students conducting research.
स्वदेशी पर्यटकहरू चाहिँ महिनामा मैले भन्नुपर्दा एभरेजमा भन्छु हैन 10 देखि 15,000 सम्म आउनुहुन्छ। विदेशी पर्यटकहरू पनि आउनुहुन्छ 500 देखि महिनामा 1000 सम्म आन्तरिक पर्यटकहरू आउनुहुन्छ। अनि हाम्रो यो पुस माघ जुन जाडो सिजन हुन्छ नि त्यसमा चाहिँ यो बच्चाहरूको यो शैक्षिक भ्रमणमा आउने बच्चाहरू चाहिँ धेरै त्यो सिजनमा चाहिँ धेरै बच्चाहरू ल्याउनुहुन्छ। अनि अघि पछि पनि हाम्रो शैक्षिक भ्रमणमा बच्चाहरू स्कुलबाट पनि आउनुहुन्छ। अनि प्लस यो अब कलेजका विद्यार्थीहरू जुन इन्भाइरोमेन्ट साइन्स पढ्ने विद्यार्थीहरू हुन्छन् हैन त्यस्ताहरू पनि अब यो पानीको माछाको यिनीहरूको पनि रिसर्च गर्न पनि विद्यार्थीहरू आउनुहुन्छ। यहाँ नेपालीलाई चाहिँ पर पर्सन 30 रुपैयाँ छ, विदेशीलाई 50 रुपैयाँ। अनि हाम्रो जुन स्कुल कलेजबाट शैक्षिक भ्रमणमा आउनुहुन्छ नि उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले 50% डिस्काउन्ट दिन्छौँ।
As tourist numbers increase, so have vendors selling fish feed around Taudaha. These traders who stay around the lake from morning to evening occasionally also encounter snakes. But believing the snakes to represent Karkotak Nagraj, the traders drive them away by just burning incense.
बिहान 10 बजेतिर आउँछु अनि 5 बजेसम्म बस्छु। अब कहिले 10 किलो निस्किदिन्छ, कहिले 5 किलो, कहिले अब यस्तै 1-2 किलो मात्रै जान्छ। म बसेको चाहिँ भयो 14 वर्ष भयो। अब पहिला भनेको व्यापार त्यति हुन्थेन। अब अहिले भनेको जस बिहान बेलुका खानालाई चाहिँ पुग्छ। दिनको कहिले 1000-1200 नि हुन्छ, कहिले 2000-2500 नि हुन्छ, कहिले 1-200 हुन्छ, कहिले 20 रुपैयाँ मात्रै नि हुन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ हुँदैन जस। सँगाली राख्दाखेरि महिनामा 8-10 हजार चाहिँ हुन्छ। परारको साल कताबाट सर्बो आए देखिनँ मैले हैन। पछि चाहिँ मेरो डडालामा आइपुग्या त्यो सर्बो अनि म डढाइ मैले आँखा चिम्ली अनि सुल्ल आफै सर्बो चाहिँ उता तलतिर गयो पोखरीतिरै।
Just before reaching Taudaha, Chobar is a unique tourist spot in Kirtipur. Manjushri Park here is one of the popular picnic destinations. The cave, Chobar Gorge, Suspension Bridge, Jalvinayak Temple and Adinath Lokeshwar Temple are all must-visit sites. This gorge is said to be where Manjushri cut the hills to drain water from the Kathmandu Valley, making it suitable for human settlement. Therefore, this place holds historical and mythological significance. Jalvinayak Temple is located along the Bagmati River. Among Kathmandu Valley's 4 main Ganesh temples, Surya Vinayak, Chandra Vinayak and Ashok Vinayak, Jalvinayak is one of them. It is built in traditional pagoda style. Toran or archways, tudal or roof struts, and gajur or pinnacles enhance its architectural beauty. So this temple is significant both for religious faith and for historical and architectural value. Spread over 14.76 square kilometers, Kirtipur has many places to explore, which cannot be fully visited in a single day. Its heritage, lifestyle, and festivals are all unique. To guide tourists before visiting, a tourist information and service center has been established. It lies near the Kirtipur's entry point. This center provides information about major tourist attractions and helps make the visit easier. Exploring Kirtipur's historical, religious, cultural, and national sites is incredibly enchanting. These sites are witnesses to history. For research and study, visiting Kirtipur is essential. The local lifestyle, daily life, the breeze, and the scent of the soil here, all of it are very special. In modern times, as ancient civilizations threaten to vanish, Kirtipur strives to maintain its ancient identity. Its monasteries, temples, chaityas, ponds, markets, and even the language reflect this heritage. Kirtipur is not just a tourist destination. It offers experiences of meditation and knowledge, and of peace and beauty. Its stories and hospitality attract everyone. To witness and feel the unique confluence of history, culture, and nature, visiting Kirtipur is a must, not just once, but again and again.
How many countries can you recognize by just looking at their flags? 20, 40, maybe 60. Today I'm joined by a young prodigy from Kathmandu, Nepal, who has far surpassed those numbers. At just 10 years old, Kripal Paudel secured his place in the World Book of Records by successfully identifying and reciting the flags of every country in the world in just 1 minute and 40 seconds. This historic feat was officially recorded on July 10, 2024. Kripal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited for the interview?
Yes, I'm already excited for this interview.
We'll show you random 40 flags and you have to name them as fast as possible.
Canada, Morocco, Russia, Malaysia, Thailand, Ethiopia, Guatemala, Belgium, Dominican Republic, Switzerland, Lithuania, Iceland, Italy, Spain, Ecuador, Montenegro, Cuba, Rwanda, South Korea, Haiti, Chile, Bolivia, Luxembourg, Honduras, Venezuela, Bangladesh, Portugal, Estonia, Kenya, Vietnam, Belarus, Greece, Nicaragua, Uruguay, Colombia, Finland, Zimbabwe, Peru, Tunisia, Ireland, Netherlands, Kosovo.
So, Kripal, how do you memorize them? When you see a flag, do you see a picture or do you see the name of the country instantly in your head?
First of all, it's interest of any people. Like, I have an interest in geography. I read geography books and I know the flags of these countries so well.
When did you first realize you had this superpower? And was it just a hobby or you had to memorize for school exams?
No, it was not to memorize for school exams. It was my hobby, and I have recognized it like for last 3 years, 4 years like that.
So walk us through your world record journey.
So it was amazing and wonderful. And throughout the journey, we introduced a form in the Worldwide Book of Records. And as the journey continues, we attended this record in my school, and we got that certificate and all that medals, etc.
How does it feel to represent Nepal on the global stage of the World Book of Records?
It was very proud to recognize my country, my motherland, Nepal, to recognize on the world's global. Yeah, it is so. It means that Nepalese people are also educated.
Now tell us more about yourself. Is it just flags or are you this fast with maths, history, dates or any other subjects?
Yeah, all subjects I got full marks in practical also, theory also. And all subjects I'm very good at, excellent at. But it's all about creativity of normal people. Every people has an interest, and if they follow their interest, they will become success in the world.
Do you consider your talent as normal?
Yeah, it's normal for me. I don't know how other people will think about it.
Who is your biggest cheerleader?
My parents are my biggest cheerleaders. They support me in every way. They support me in every situation, and I'm very thankful to have parents like them.
Let's talk beyond your world record.
Yes.
Who is Kripal Paudel and what are your interests?
So, Kripal Paudel is basically a normal person. My hobbies are to study about geography, to study about politics, to study about news, climates, and beyond that studies, I also have interest in sports and other categories.
Okay, now let's talk about your future. You've already bagged the world record now. What's next?
After an attempt in Guinness Book of Records, and I'm doing 3D animation in Blender, 2D animation in After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro, and Illustrator also. And also, it's been great to do this.
You're interested in technology as well?
Yes. I didn't have a decision to become what in future.
Oh, you've not decided yet?
Yes. I'm so small too.
So when you think about you being an adult, what comes to your mind? What profession suits you?
I have been doing the 3D animation in the past like 1 year, and I'm doing a great job in 3D animation. So my interest is 3D animation also.
So outside of flags and studying, what is Kripal's favorite thing to do?
I want to socialize with my parents, and I want to travel also. I want to travel the world's countries.
Now, here's a fun segment. I'll ask you a question. You need to answer in one word, or you can just answer it in one sentence. Are you ready?
Yes.
The first question is, which one do you think is the coolest looking or has the best color or shape?
I'm not disrespecting every flags. They are all beautiful in their people's angles. But as being a Nepali flags is a different one from all the world's flag.
Which one was the hardest to memorize?
So probably the longer words flag, like it can be anything like Kyrgyzstan and maybe Uzbekistan. I saw many flags like Monaco and Indonesia. They are same. Indonesia and Poland are also same. Ireland and Cote d'Ivoire, they are also similar.
Is there a country you want to visit just because its flag is cool?
The coolest one I want to go to is Switzerland, maybe.
Switzerland, just because its flag is beautiful?
Yes.
Are you interested in just countries or the cities as well?
As learning geography, cities are also important to learn, and I'm learning about cities as well as the states as well.
Do you ever see flags in your dreams?
I haven't seen a flag in my dream.
Now we've come to the end of the show. Do you have anything that you want to share with your audience?
I'm very grateful to my parents and thankful to my parents. And also I learned 3D animation in Pixel Media, which is a company that provides you to how to learn about 3D animation, 2D animation. And I want to thank to all the members of the NTV World to giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Nepal's Home Minister says government committed to maintaining peace and security, urges sensitivity over sensitive cases. Taxpayer incentive program takes off with massive public response. VAT bill collection turns into a chance to win daily and bumper cash prizes. Nepal launches online authentication system to simplify consular services for citizens abroad. New digital platform to benefit hundreds of thousands. Supreme Court allows review in Nepali Congress legitimacy row. Earlier verdict recognizing Gagan Thapa-led committee to face fresh hearing. U.S. Senate panel holds Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. COVID-19 hearing dispute moves toward possible Justice Department action. And FIFA President Infantino wins executive backing amid leadership scrutiny. Unanimous support clears path for his potential fourth-term bid. Hello there, this is Smita Singh Thamang. Welcome to NTV World News Hour, coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours Nepal time. Now the news in detail. Nepal's Home Minister Sudan Gurung has called for sensitivity while discussing issues involving personal loss, saying the government is continuing efforts to maintain peace and security across the country. Responding to lawmakers' questions in the National Assembly, Minister Gurung said investigations, including the Nirmala Panta case, are ongoing and that commenting on details would not be appropriate at this stage.
अनुसन्धानको विषयलाई हामीले सदन मार्फत गर्ने चाहिँ अनुसन्धानको विषयहरु चाहिँ यो सदन मार्फत चाहिँ हामीले गर्न चाहिँ मिल्दैन अनुसन्धान हो नि त त्यो विषयलाई त हामीले सकेसम्म चाहिँ गोप्य राखेर अनुसन्धानको प्रक्रियालाई अगाडि बढाएर हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ रिजल्ट दिनु ठुलो कुरा हो नि त यसको बारेमा अनुसन्धानको फाइलहरू तपाईको यहाँ सदनमा बसेर त्यो जो क्रिमिनल्सहरू हुनुहुन्छ जसले चाहिँ उन्मुक्ति पाइराख्नु भएको छ उहाँहरूलाई सचेत गराएको मात्र जस्तो हुन्छ कि यो भयो भने त्यही भएको हिसाबले अनुसन्धानको विषयलाई चाहिँ हामीले यसलाई गोप्य राखेर अनुसन्धान गरेर अन्तिममा रिजल्ट ल्याउँदाखेरि चाहिँ गृहमन्त्रीज्यूले एकदम राम्रो काम गर्नुभयो भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ होला त्यसपछि चाहिँ
The government's taxpayer incentive program has received overwhelming public response even before its official launch. The system has already recorded transactions worth more than 92.8 billion rupees, with over 30 million bills registered just 20 days. The program, officially launching Friday, allows consumers collecting VAT bills to participate in daily and bumper lucky draws. One winner will receive 100,000 Nepali rupees every day, while a bumper prize of 1 million rupees will be awarded every 50 days. Nepal's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched the Nepal e-attestation system NEATS to make consular authentication services faster and more accessible. The digital platform will allow Nepalese worldwide to apply for document authentication online, track applications, pay fees and schedule appointments remotely. The service will officially begin from 17 August. Foreign Minister Shishir Khanal said the initiative supports digital governance and the government's digital Nepal vision. The ministry also plans to introduce home delivery of authenticated documents in the next phase. Nepal's Supreme Court has granted permission to review its earlier ruling in a high-profile dispute over the official leadership of Nepali Congress. A full bench comprising Chief Justice Manoj Kumar Sharma and Justices Nityananda Pandey and Shrikant Paudel issued the order on Thursday, allowing a review petition filed by former party president Sher Bahadur Deuba. The decision means the court will reconsider its previous verdict, which had dismissed Deuba's petition challenging the legitimacy of the party leadership elected through a special general convention. In its earlier ruling, a joint bench of Justices Saranga Subedi and Nripadwaja Nirola recognized the executive committee led by party president Gagan Thapa, who was elected through the special convention, and rejected Deuba's legal challenge. Deuba subsequently filed a petition for judicial review, arguing that the verdict contained legal errors and should be reconsidered. The leadership dispute intensified after Nepal's Election Commission formally recognized the outcome of the Special General Convention. Deuba, joined by senior party leader Purna Bahadur Khadka, challenged the Commission's decision before the Supreme Court. The petition names the Election Commission, Nepali Congress President Gagan Thapa and Vice President Vishwa Prakash Sharma as respondents. A U.S. Senate committee has voted to hold a former top health official Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after he refused to answer questions during a hearing into his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The vote, which passed along party lines, allows the committee to refer the matter to the Justice Department for possible prosecution over alleged failure to comply with the congressional subpoena. It remains uncertain whether the Justice Department will take further action. During testimony last week, Fauci repeatedly invoked his constitutional protection against self-incrimination, using the right more than 100 times. He accused Kentucky Senator Rand Paul of attempting to put him behind bars. Fauci's lawyer criticized the committee's decision, calling it a political stunt aimed at punishing him for exercising his constitutional rights. The controversy is linked to ongoing debate over the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. Senator Rand Paul has repeatedly accused Fauci of concealing information about the virus's origins and questioned funding connected to a research laboratory in Wuhan, China. However, many scientists continue to say that animal-to-human transmission remains the most likely explanation for how the pandemic began. European teams could still boycott competitions, including the World Cup, as UEFA says FIFA's defense of President Gianni Infantino changes nothing, according to the BBC. The dispute follows growing criticism of Infantino's leadership after controversial plans to sell stakes in FIFA competitions to private investors. FIFA has defended its president, but UEFA remains unconvinced by the response. The BBC's reported that Infantino has begun a fight back as he prepares for a possible fourth term re-election bid. He will need 106 votes from FIFA's 211 member associations to remain in office. The Confederation of African Football is also expected to discuss the issue and could publicly reaffirm its support for Infantino's re-election. Nepal's new taxpayer incentive program is already generating massive public interest. In the reports after the break, we explain how it works, explore successful reward-based tax systems from around the world, and hear what the public thinks about asking for a VAT bill. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour, and now we turn into our issue of the day. The government's taxpayer incentive program has generated massive interest and participation even before its official launch. The system has already registered transactions surpassing 92.8 billion rupees. The program is being officially launched Friday, with daily winner being announced on a regular basis. Sabika Shrestha with Kamal Aryal brings more.
Asking for a bill after making a purchase is no longer just a civic responsibility. It is now an opportunity to win cash prizes. Since the announcement of the program, the number of consumers requesting VAT bills has increased significantly. According to the Inland Revenue Department, the total value of transactions registered under the taxpayer incentive program has crossed 92.80 billion rupees in the last 20 days. As of Thursday, more than 30.46 million transactions have been recorded. Consumers who pay in cash and collect a bill can participate in the program by registering their mobile number and other required details through the department's taxpayer incentive portal. A purchase is considered eligible only after the system verifies the bill. Once verified, a digital ticket is automatically generated, which is then entered into the daily and bumper prize draws. Purchases of 100 rupees or more must be supported by a bill containing the seller's PAN. Payments made through mobile banking, QR codes, cards, and other electronic payment methods are automatically included in the system.
हामीले विद्युतीय भुक्तानी भन्छ नि क्यूआर पेमेन्ट गर्ने अथवा अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गर्ने कुराहरुमा जुन जुन भुक्तानीमा हामी चाहिँ त्यो अनलाइन पेमेन्ट चाहिँ गर्छौं त्यसमा केही पनि गर्नु पर्दैन त्यो पेमेन्ट गर्ने बित्तिकै त्यो ट्रान्ज्याक्सन कारोबारको चाहिँ संकेत नम्बर स्वत यो चाहिँ यो स्किममा समावेश हुन्छ जसले चाहिँ अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गर्नु भएको छैन नगदमा भुक्तानी गर्नु भएको छ भनेदेखि उहाँहरुले चाहिँ बिल लिनु पर्यो विभागको चाहिँ वेबसाइटमा एउटा चाहिँ त्यो बिल प्रविष्टि गर्ने चाहिँ ठाउँ छ त्यहाँ 5-6 वटा फिल्डमा चाहिँ हामीले त्यो इन्फर्मेसन भर्ने बित्तिकै उले चाहिँ तपाईको कुपन नम्बर यति हो भनेर चाहिँ टक्क फेरि कुपन नम्बर सहित चाहिँ दिन्छ त्यो पनि प्रणालीमा चाहिँ फेरि आफै जान्छ.
According to the department, only individual consumers are eligible to participate in the program. Transactions made in the name of businesses, companies or institutions are not eligible. The department says the initiative aims to strengthen public trust in the tax system, promote a culture of voluntary tax compliance, encourage honest taxpayers and broaden the country's tax base. Under the program, one winner will be selected through a daily lucky draw with a prize money of 1 lakh rupees. In addition, a bumper draw will be held every 15 days, giving one lucky consumer the chance to win a cash prize of 1 million rupees exclusive of taxes. So next time, when you make a purchase of anything above 100 rupees, make sure to take a VAT invoice and be a millionaire. Sabika Shrestha, NTV World.
Around the world, governments are finding innovative ways to improve tax compliance, and not by increasing tax rates, but by rewarding honest consumers. From million-dollar invoice lotteries in Asia to cashback and prize schemes in Europe and Latin America, these programs encourage people to ask for official receipts, making it harder for businesses to hide sales and evade taxes. Here's a look at how different countries are using luck to strengthen tax systems.
It was the Chinese Taipei that pioneered the concept in 1951 with its uniform invoice lottery. Every official receipt doubles as a lottery ticket, offering prizes of up to 10 million local currency and becoming one of the world's most successful tax compliance models. China introduced the Fapio lottery, where official tax invoices can earn consumers instant cash rewards or digital lottery entries, boosting VAT reporting and discouraging fake invoices. Portugal's Lucky Invoice program rewards citizens who request tax invoices, while Malta operates a long-running VAT receipt lottery to promote proper receipt issuance. In Central Europe, Slovakia and Poland run national receipt lotteries, offering cash, cars, and other prizes to encourage consumers to demand fiscal receipts and reduce the shadow economy. Georgia follows a different approach, providing frequent smaller cash prizes that motivate people to collect legal receipts while improving tax compliance. The Philippines Bureau of Revenue organizes receipt raffles, encouraging shoppers to register official receipts for the chance to win substantial cash prizes. Brazil combines tax credits, cashback, and lottery rewards through state-level invoice programs, helping increase VAT collection and reduce informal economic activity. South Korea takes a different path. Instead of lotteries, its cash receipt system rewards consumers with tax deductions for documented cash transactions. Nepal has now joined this global trend through its taxpayer incentive gift program. Consumers who obtain genuine tax invoices for purchases above 100 rupees become eligible for daily and monthly cash prizes, including awards of up to 1 million rupees. Together, these initiatives demonstrate how small incentives can encourage millions of consumers to demand official receipts, improve tax transparency, strengthen government revenue, and promote a culture of voluntary tax compliance.
In this context, we asked the public how aware they are about the importance of taking a bill while purchasing goods. Let's hear what they have to say in today's Public Pulse segment.
कतिपय ठाउँमा चाहिँ बिल दिनुस् भन्दा पनि आनाकानी गरेर सानो एउटा चिटमा चाहिँ दिने गर्नुहुन्छ भन्दा भन्दै पनि दिनुहुन्न कुनै ठाउँमा चाहिँ अटोमेटिक दिनुहुन्छ यहाँ भाटबटिनीमा सुपरमार्केटहरुमा त दिने कुरा भइहाल्यो अटोमेटिक नै
पहिला चाहिँ अब त्यति लिने गरेको थिएन अब अहिले यो जुन यो कार्यक्रमको घोषणा भयो त्यसपछि चाहिँ म पनि हरेक पसलमा बिल माग्ने गरेको छु अहिले चाहिँ एकदमै यो राम्रो पनि लागेको छ भने अब अनलाइन गर्यो भने त्यहाँ अटोमेटिक हुँदो रहेछ बिल माग्दा चाहिँ अनि बिल ल्याउने दर्ता गर्ने त्यो चाहिँ गर्ने गरेको छु
भाटबटिनतिर चाहिँ लिन गरेछ अन्त चाहिँ आफ्नो घरको सामान लिँदा कहीँ ल्याइन्छ कहीँ ल्याइँदैन अलि ठुलो सामान किन्दाखेरि ल्याइन्छ सानो सामान किन्दा ल्याइन्न त्यति हो
अब यो सानातिनो पसलहरू जस्तै यो हाम्रो खुद्रा पसल हाम्रो जस्तै गल्लीहरूको पसलहरूमा चाहिँ खासै बिलिङको प्रोसेसहरू त्यति हुँदैन तर जस्तै अब अलि लग्जरी आइटम जस्तै हाम्रो यो भाटबटिनी जस्तै ब्रान्डेड लुगा कपडामा चाहिँ उहाँहरूले बिल दिने गर्नुहुन्छ लाइक यस्तो खुद्रा पसलमा चाहिँ त्यति बिलहरू हामी लिने गरेका छैनौँ
तर सरकारले गरिरहेको यो चाहिँ थाहा छ मैले छ बिल हरेक पटक बिल लिइरहेछ यो लिइरहेको राम्रै हो देशको लागि
बिल त म प्राय पाउने ठाउँमा त बिल अनिवार्य भन्छु कहीँ बिल माग्दाखेरि रिसाउँछन्
भ्याट बिल छैन पेन बिल छैन के भन्छन् हैन अब त्यो चाहिँ हामीले थाहा भइसकेको छ हैन त्यो अब तिनीहरूले चाहिँ अब त्यहाँ गलत गरे हान त्यहाँ भनेर अब हामीले भ्याट त पहिल्यै तिरिसकेका हुन्छ जनताले एउटा सचेत नागरिक भएर बिल माग्न पर्छ सरकारलाई हेल्प गर्नुपर्छ कसरी हुन्छ यो चाहिँ नि देशको लागि चाहिँ नि केही न केही चाहिँ गर्नुपर्छ हामीले सचेत नागरिकले प्रत्येकले बिल माग्नुपर्छ
And that was our issue of the day. On to the next segment now. The government is stepping up its digital transformation drive. A look at the latest initiatives to improve policymaking, public services and grievance handling after this break. And now the cover story of the day. The government has been introducing new initiatives as part of its efforts to make public services more effective, transparent and citizen-focused, ranging from evidence-based policymaking to digital service delivery and improved grievance handling mechanisms. Strengthening policy decisions through research and expert engagement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched the MOFA Knowledge Forum, a platform aimed at connecting policymakers with academics, researchers and experts. The forum is a monthly dialogue platform involving government officials, researchers, academicians and policy specialists. The ministry says the forum will support evidence-based decision-making and create a structured space for knowledge sharing on issues related to Nepal's international engagement. For Nepalese living abroad, assessing government services has often involved paperwork and physical visits. The Foreign Ministry has now introduced a digital system aimed at making document authentication faster and more convenient. While informed policymaking strengthens government decisions, technology-driven services are helping citizens access those decisions and services more easily. A major step in this direction has been taken by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the launch of its digital consular service platform. Siksha Bhatrai takes a look.
Nepal's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched the Nepal e-attestation system, or NEATS, allowing Nepalis around the world to apply online for consular authentication services. Through the new platform, applicants can submit requests digitally, track application progress, pay fees online, and schedule appointments without repeated visits to offices. The system will come into operation from August 17. Foreign Minister Shishir Khanal said the initiative reflects the government's commitment to making public service more accessible, transparent, and technology-friendly. The ministry says the demand for authentication services has increased with the growing number of Nepalis traveling abroad for education, employment, business, and migration. In the previous fiscal year, more than 112,000 students received no objection certificates, while around 400,000 Nepalis annually obtain labor permits for foreign employment. Officials say authenticated documents are essential for Nepalis abroad for education, family reunion, emergency support, compensation, and insurance-related procedures. The ministry says digital transformation of consular services is part of a broader effort to bring government services closer to citizens.
Along with making services easier to access, the government is also working to strengthen the system through which citizens can raise concerns and seek solutions. To improve direct communication between citizens and the state, the Prime Minister's office is preparing to upgrade Hello Sarkar, the government's public grievance handling platform. The proposed system aims to integrate complaints received through phone calls, websites, social media platforms, email and messaging applications into a single digital platform. Under the upgraded system, citizens will be able to register complaints, track progress and receive updates through one integrated mechanism. The government also plans to connect the toll-free number 1111 with relevant ministries and government call centres for faster response. A proposed guideline has set timelines for addressing complaints, urgent cases within 24 hours, highly urgent cases within 3 days, priority complaints within 7 days, and general complaints within 15 days. The Prime Minister's office says complaints increased significantly in recent years, highlighting the need for a stronger and more responsive grievance management system. And that wraps up our cover story of the day. Now the remaining updates from National Front. Nepal moves to update national service law to train youth volunteers for public service. The bill that proposes leadership and discipline training for teenagers has sparked a debate over military-style programs in schools. Nepal's government has begun the process of replacing the 2027 National Service Act with a new bill aimed at developing leadership, discipline and volunteer skills among young people. Law Minister Sobita Gautam said the proposed National Service Bill would allow trained volunteers to be mobilized for national service when needed, while targeting teenagers and young adults aged between 13 and 21. The bill proposes training for students from grades 8 to 12, with participants receiving certificates after completing the program. Supporters say the initiative could strengthen leadership and civic responsibility, while some lawmakers have raised concerns that schools should focus on moral education instead of military-style training. The bill, currently under discussion in a parliamentary committee, proposes that the Prime Minister serve as Chief Patron and the Defence Minister as Patron of the National Service Programme. Nepal's President Ramchandra Paudel met South Korean Ambassador Park Tae-hyung on Thursday as the envoy paid a farewell call at the President's office after completing his diplomatic term in Nepal. The two discussed bilateral relations and issues of mutual interest between Nepal and South Korea, according to the President's office. President Paudel also congratulated Ambassador Park on the successful completion of his tenure. South Korea is one of Nepal's key development partners and a major destination for Nepali migrant workers. Nepal's Home Minister Sudan Gurung says the government is moving forward in line with the principles of the Gen Z movement, which he described as the foundation of the current administration. Speaking at the inauguration of the injured Gen Z Nepal Central Office in Kathmandu, Minister Gurung said he sees himself as a representative of young people's aspirations for change. He added that his priority is to address public concerns through practical policies and action rather than speeches. The office was inaugurated by Ganesh Chaulagai, father of Gen Z movement martyr Shriyam Chaulagai, along with Infrastructure Development Minister Sunil Lamsal. Nepal's government has approved a new salary structure for public sector workers, increasing pay for civil servants, teachers and security personnel from the beginning of the new fiscal year. The decision also raises pensions for retired government employees by 10%, while salaries for the President, Vice President and other constitutional officials are still awaiting a final decision.
The revised salary system applies to employees across Nepal's civil administration, army, police forces, health services, parliamentary offices, community schools, and provincial and local governments. Under the new pay scale, the country's highest-ranking civil servant, the Chief Secretary, will receive a monthly salary of around $647, with the Nepal Army Chief receiving the same amount. Government secretaries and Nepal's police chief will earn approximately $604 per month.
क्याबिनेटबाट स्वीकृत गरेरै अनि बल्ल प्रत्येक वर्ष आर्थिक वर्षको बजेट हामीले त्यो निकासा गर्छौं, तलबहरू भुक्तानी गर्छौं र यो वर्ष स्वीकृत भइसक्यो। साउन 1 गतेदेखि नै त्यो लागू हुने हो र यसमा अब त्यहाँ यहाँले त्यो सूचना विज्ञप्ति पनि हेरि पनि सक्नुभएको छ। हामीले विभिन्न निजामती सेवादेखि लिएर नेपाली सेना, प्रहरी बल लगायतका विभिन्न 8वटा सेवा समूहहरूको कर्मचारीहरूको तलबमान त्यो विषय स्वीकृत भएर आइसकेको छ र अन्यको सन्दर्भमा त्यो प्रक्रियामा छ, चाँडै नै हुन्छ।
For newly appointed civil service officers, the starting salary has been set at around $343, while additional salary grades and benefits can increase total earnings to about $457. The lowest paid government positions, including office assistants and postal workers, will receive around $207 per month. The government has also introduced a 10% monthly incentive allowance for all public employees. Teachers, health workers, and government drivers are included in the revised structure, with salaries adjusted across different levels. Retired government employees will also benefit from the reform, with pensions increased by 10%. However, the pay and benefits of Nepal's top constitutional officials remain pending as the Finance Ministry prepares a separate compensation framework.
The bodies of renowned mountaineer Nirmal Purja and 3 members of his expedition have been recovered from Pakistan's Broad Peak and taken to the mountain's base camp. The team members were killed in an avalanche on July 30 while climbing the world's 12th highest mountain. Pakistan's Alpine Club said 3 climbers remain missing, with search and recovery operations continuing as weather and mountain conditions allow. The recovered bodies will be returned to their families. The tragedy has deeply affected the global mountaineering community, with Nepal's National Mountain Guide Association describing the deaths as the loss of a generation of accomplished climbers. While many schools focus solely on classroom learning, one school in Western Nepal is teaching students how to grow their own future. A public school in Nepal's central hilly district of Gulmi, farming has become part of everyday education, helping students gain practical skills while generating income for the school's welfare fund. Vijeta Bandari, along with our correspondent DB Khadga, brings more.
Reading about agriculture is one thing, growing your own crops is another. For the past 4 years, students at the Gwagha Secondary School in Gulmi district of Western Nepal have been combining classroom lessons with hands-on farming. This comes as part of an effort to promote agricultural skills and self-reliance at school. What started on just around 10,900 square feet of barren land in Ward number 5 of Chandrakot Rural Municipality has now grown into a model school farming program. Today, students cultivate crops such as akbare or the round pepper chili, garlic, beans, mushrooms, and ginger, turning unused land into a productive learning space while also gaining practical experience that extends beyond the classroom. Students say learning agriculture alongside their studies has been both enjoyable and valuable.
आफूले उत्पादन गरेर खान पाइएको छ अनि यहाँबाट लगेर बोट बिरुवाहरू लाग्न पाइएको छ हामी कृषि प्रधान देशमा बसेर यतिको कृषि गर्न पर्यो.
Students have earned around 800,000 rupees over the past 4 years. Half of that income has been deposited into the school's student welfare fund, while the remaining money has been used to finance educational tours, scholarships, and student awards. Students are happy that the knowledge gained at school has inspired them to practice farming at home as well.
अन्त घरमा लगेर पनि यसको वर्क खेती गर्न सकिन्छ अनि यो विद्यालयमा उत्पादन भएका खुर्सानीबाट खुर्सानीहरू पनि हामीले किनेर लगिन्छ.
Principal Prakash Thapa says students take part in farming during free periods and even on school holidays, ensuring that agricultural activities do not interfere with their studies.
लेजर पिरियडमा हुने बच्चाहरूलाई हामीले त्यसमा सदुपयोग गर्ने गर्छौं र कहिलेकाहीँ बिदाका दिनहरूमा पनि बच्चाहरूलाई बोलाएर यो कर्ममा हामीले सिकाइदिएका गरिरहेका छौं.
The initiative has continued to expand. Since last year, the school has also been part of the government's Study and Earn program, receiving 75,000 Nepali rupees in financial support from the rural municipality.
विद्यार्थी अभिभावक सबैको सहयोगमा यो कार्यक्रम अगाडि बढिरहेको छ. एउटा पुरस्कार स्वरूप 75,000 रुपैयाँ आर्थिक सहयोग गरेको छ.
As schools increasingly look for ways to equip students with practical, real-world skills, Gwagha Secondary School is showing that learning can extend far beyond the classroom.
International news lined up next. For now, a quick recap of the headlines. Nepal's Home Minister says government committed to maintaining peace and security, urges sensitivity over sensitive cases. Taxpayer incentive program takes off with massive public response. VAT bill collection turns into a chance to win daily and bumper cash prizes. Nepal launches online authentication system to simplify consular services for citizens abroad, a new digital platform to benefit hundreds of thousands. Supreme Court allows review in Nepali Congress legitimacy row, earlier verdict recognizing Gagan Thapa-led committee to face fresh hearing. U.S. Senate panel holds Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. COVID-19 hearing dispute moves toward possible Justice Department action. And FIFA President Infantino wins executive backing amid leadership scrutiny. Unanimous support clears path for his potential fourth-term bid. Ukraine says it has carried out long-range drone strikes on two Russian oil refineries targeting facilities in Bashkortostan and the Yaroslavl region. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attacks were aimed at weakening Russia's military infrastructure. In Yaroslavl, thick black smoke was seen rising over the city, with the regional governor describing it as the largest drone attack the area has ever faced. Russian authorities say they intercepted more than 600 Ukrainian drones across multiple regions, although falling debris reportedly struck oil storage tanks. Meanwhile, Russian drone attacks in Ukraine killed at least 6 people, including civilians in a residential area, at a railway station and near the Black Sea port of Odessa. Japanese city Hiroshima held its annual peace ceremony on Thursday, marking 81 years since the atomic bombing. People across Japan are taking time to pause and remember the victims. Hiroshima fell silent at 8:15 a.m., the same minute the U.S. dropped the bomb in 1945. The heat and radiation from the blast destroyed the city, killing an estimated 140,000 people by the end of the year. Many who survived suffer from cancer and other diseases related to radiation exposure. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi and representatives from a record 121 countries and regions attended the ceremony. Prime Minister Takaichi offered her condolences to victims of the Hiroshima atomic bombing 81 years after the attack by the U.S. during the World War II.
我が国は非核三原則を堅持しており、唯一の戦争被爆国として核兵器のない世界の実現に向けた努力をたゆまず続けていく使命を担っています。
The United Nations World Food Programme warns that the strengthening El Niño weather pattern could push at least 49 million more people into acute food insecurity by the end of 2027. The agency says droughts, floods and extreme temperatures are already affecting vulnerable communities, with the greatest impact expected in Central America, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa and parts of Asia. WFP estimates the number of people facing acute hunger in 45 high-risk countries could rise from 225 million to 274 million. The agency has already launched early response measures in several countries, providing life-saving assistance and helping communities prepare for climate-related disasters. The WFP is urging greater international support, warning that early action can save lives, protect livelihoods and reduce the cost of future humanitarian emergencies. And now time for business update after this break. China plans to deploy 1,000 general-purpose computing satellites by 2032 as part of its push to expand artificial intelligence capabilities from space. The project, led by Zhejiang Lab, aims to equip satellites with AI foundation models, making them more versatile and capable of handling a wide range of computing tasks. The initiative reflects China's growing ambition to become a global leader in space-based computing and artificial intelligence. 5 months of war between Iran and the US are taking a growing financial toll on ordinary Iranians, forcing many to choose between basic necessities.
اقلام اساسی که کالای اساسی مثلا گوشت و مرغ و لبنیات و اینا خواه ناخواه اون مقدار مصرفی که مثلا قبلا داشتیم کمتر داریم. به هر حال میگم همه چی با هم داره گرون میشه، هم اجاره خونه ها هم اجاره مغازه ها. در عین حال برعکس فروشا داره میاد پایینتر و واقعا مجبوریم. خب میگم اون چیزایی که خوردنیه مثلا دارم میگم میوه رو مثلا اون موقع هم گفتن اروپایی‌ها خارجی میرن مثلا دونه‌ای میخرن. یواش یواش ما داریم الان شما قیمتا رو ببینید داریم ما هم یواش یواش به میوه دونه‌ای داریم میرسیم.
Romania's record high inflation is forcing many households to cut back on essential spending as the cost of living continues to rise. Shoppers say they are struggling to afford food, healthcare, and electricity, with some postponing medical treatment to pay basic household bills.
Trebuie să cuplanda din ianuarie la control. Păi 1.600.000 analiza, 1.850.000 controlul.
And now the sports update. South Korean police have raided the Korea Football Association KFA as part of an investigation into the appointment of former national team coach Hong Myung-bo. Authorities are probing allegations of obstruction of business, with investigators examining whether senior KFA officials improperly influenced Hong's 2024 appointment in violation of internal rules. The scrutiny has intensified after South Korea's disappointing group stage exit at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, despite high expectations for a star-studded squad led by Son Heung-min. Hong resigned in June and later accepted full responsibility for the team's poor performance while denying allegations over his appointment and reported salary. Police say the investigation is ongoing and the KFA has declined to comment. Time now for weather updates, first from Nepal and then around the world. And before we wind up, let's have one last look at the reminder of our top stories. Nepal's Home Minister says government committed to maintaining peace and security, urges sensitivity over sensitive cases. Taxpayer incentive program takes off with massive public response. VAT bill collection turns into a chance to win daily and bumper cash prizes. Nepal launches online authentication system to simplify consular services for citizens abroad. New digital platform to benefit hundreds of thousands. Supreme Court allows review in Nepali Congress legitimacy row. Earlier verdict recognizing Gagan Thapa-led committee to face a fresh hearing. U.S. Senate panel holds Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. COVID-19 hearing dispute moves toward possible Justice Department action. And FIFA President Infantino wins executive backing and leadership scrutiny. Unanimous support clears path for his potential fourth-term bid. And that's it for this edition of NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and get the latest updates from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. This is Mithugi Singh Thamang signing off. Thank you for staying with us. Good night and take care.